Sponsored by DEA Take Back Day.
I'm Wendy Gillette. The White House says Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer is resigning. CBS's Ed O'Keefe on her rocky tenure.
She's been the subject of an ongoing, pretty significant internal investigation at the Labor Department regarding widespread misconduct by herself, by at least 4 other aides that had been excused from their jobs after this investigation, and most recently reports that members of her own family were, in essence, using Labor Department personnel and resources to their own benefit while she was serving in this role. She served for about 13 months, but is now on her way out.
Keith Sonderling takes over as acting secretary. A second round of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran is in jeopardy amid tensions over the Strait of Hormuz. Correspondent Olivia Rinaldi from the White House.
Iran is saying they're not going. The vice president says he has not left yet, that he's still here in Washington. We've been told he is expected to go at some point, but again, the ceasefire is supposed to expire potentially tomorrow evening.
Apple has picked a new leader as CEO Tim Cook steps down. CBS News tech contributor Ian Scher.
If Apple co-founder Steve Jobs was a design person and Tim Cook, his successor as CEO, was all about operations, John Turnus, the upcoming CEO, comes from Apple's hardware teams.
Singer David has pleaded not guilty to murder after the dismembered body of a 14-year-old girl was found in his car. L.A. District Attorney Nathan Hochman.
These charges include the most serious charges that a DA's office can bring. First-degree murder with special circumstances. The special circumstances being lying in wait, committing this crime for financial gain, or murdering a witness in an investigation.
A planned fight among young people turned into a mass shooting in a park in Winston-Salem, North Carolina this morning. Police Chief William Penn.
I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm sad. This didn't have to happen. It's senseless.
Today is 420, also known as Marijuana Day. WWJ's Charlie Langton from Detroit.
Hot historians say that 420 actually got started back in 1971 in California as a way for teenagers to meet at 4:20 p.m. to smoke marijuana. John says he started smoking pot in the 70s, so what has changed?
Oh, it's gotten so much better, stronger. Back in the day, it wasn't that good.
Many use 420 to promote the full legalization of cannabis.
This is CBS News.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com.
Coming up, a 14-time felon in and out of jail again. We will hear from the Thurston County Sheriff. But first, Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. Day and night plumbing, heating, cooling, and electric has this update. Tacoma, we've opened up all lanes westbound 16 at Jackson Avenue. Following about a 15-minute closure. Turns out we had maintenance work on that bridge, and crews needed that full closure to safely do their work. We're left with a brief backup near Cheney Stadium. Southbound 167 is solid now between State Route 18 into Sumner. Renton to Puyallup, plan on about a 35-minute trip. Here in Seattle, 25 minutes gets you through downtown. On North 5, you'll jam up at the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90, and again between Mercer and the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5, we're starting to get crowded approaching the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90, Linwood to Seattle at 20 minutes. South 405, you're heavy through Factoria, and then from there it's off and on slowing down to the VMAC. Bellevue to Renton is up to 25 minutes, and really just typical backups forming in all the usual places across the map. This month, when you install a new AC or heat pump, you'll get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Scheduled today at dayandnight.net. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. We are now hearing from the union that represents Asian massage parlors after Bothell police conducted a series of raids on 5 businesses last week. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
Bothell police were investigating alleged prostitution and human trafficking, but the businesses were issued stop work notices for unsafe working conditions due to faulty electrical work and broken smoke detectors. The Massage Parlor Organizing Project, or MPOP, says the raids are nothing more than Asian harassment.
Attacking these massage parlors are creating the conditions of anti-Asian violence.
Bothell police say during the raids, they stopped a sex crime in progress and gathered a lot of evidence indicating illegal activity. In Bothell, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thurston County Sheriff says the state is failing in its handling of violent repeat offenders. Sheriff Derek Sanders comments following a high-speed chase last night involving a 14-time convicted felon that was wanted for assault.
How we are dealing with the 1% of people that I just described, the 15, 30, 40-time convicted felons, people being arrested for their 99th time, how we are managing that as a state is a failure.
The suspect's bail was set at $15,000. Sanders tells KIRO Radio's Gian Ursula he was released on just $1,500. 30-year-old woman and 28-year-old man are in critical condition today after an early morning crash on Aurora Avenue in Seattle. Police say they were riding a Lime bike together and were unfamiliar with the streets in the area. Detective Ryan Pritchard says they were hit by a pickup truck traveling southbound.
It was an accident. They were unfamiliar with the area. They, instead of taking a left here onto this sidewalk, they crossed over into this busy highway here.
A third person riding a separate bike was okay. Police say drugs, alcohol, and speed were not factors. A man from Iran was in a Seattle courtroom today accused of secretly shipping American products to Iran in violation of U.S. sanctions. Federal prosecutors say Reza Dindar used a company based in China to funnel the goods to Iran between 2010 and 2014. Among those items he allegedly shipped parts from a Seattle area supplier that were later linked to military sonar equipment in the Iranian military. Your weather update now, looking at cloudy skies with some sun breaks this afternoon. Highs today topping out around 70. We're up to 67 degrees right now in downtown Seattle, just ticked up to 68. In fact, I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Here we go with the John Curley Show. Thank you, Aaron. How about the Mariners?
Yeah, I got back on track this weekend. That was nice to see.
Are you feeling better?
John, early. I never felt bad.
I know. Just check.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, just checking. All right, here we go. All right, everybody, dive it on. Let's see, make it official. Let's see. Where is my music bed? Here we go. Now we're officially doing radio. Paul filling in for Joe. Joe is in Hawaii. Can you imagine what that's like, Joe in Hawaii?
Sounds nice.
For everybody except for everybody in Hawaii. All right, here we go. Well, I got Andrea Suarez sitting right next to me.
Hello.
And well, you're not here yet. Oh. Now we got to start all over. Hold on a second. Okay, diving into the news. Joe in Hawaii. All right, here we go. We'll get started with the show. Andrea Suarez from We Heart Seattle is here. Don't say anything. I'm going to be speaking with the mayor of Seattle, Mark Katie Wilson, who wants to, I think, build like 500 tiny homes, another 1,000 tiny homes. And boy, no one has a better perspective of what happens when you build tiny homes than Andrea Suarez. So I will be using some of the things she says to ask our mayor about that. Plus, I was a part-timer there, kind of a part-timer guy working at QVC, but it's sad to see it go away. They initial bankruptcy protection, forget it, they're done. The rule was that the guy that started, it was Barry Diller, said, I'm going to combine the two things that Americans love the most. That would be watching television and buying stuff. Well, apparently they could buy stuff other places, so too bad for QVC. And I'll take you back to Mike Rowe, a friend of mine who did dirty jobs, but prior to that, he was a QVC host, and he was fired twice. They fired him once after something he did, and they brought him back, and then he did it again, and they fired him again. And his advice to me when I got the job. Let's see. When it comes to building cars that are far advanced to anything we seem to have, the Chinese have it down. Plus, now you don't have to do what my mom and dad used to do with an empty pickle jar. You don't have to hand it back. Paul, is the toilet in the car?
It fits underneath the passenger seat, so yes.
But is it voice controlled? That's what everybody wants to know.
I didn't see anything about voice control, but I did get some sound on some details that we might be able to get.
All right, there we go.
More.
Good news for everybody. By the way, my poor sister, let's just think about this for a minute. So it's my brother and myself, And then, Mom, we have to go to the bathroom. And Dad never wanted to pull over for anything. And then my sister, I have to go to the bathroom. We're going on. I was like, poor Lori. 420, that is officially, it's Marijuana Day. And now the President of the United States, I think it was an executive order signed on Friday that they're going to be looking into psychedelics. Joe Rogan convinced him of this. He likes it, likes the sound of it. And what the president said will shock you. Let's see. Oh, yeah, AI is coming out with a brand new movie. And people are like, well, this is horrible. What happens, you know what? When all the movies are made with AI, then no one's going to have anything to compare anything to. And it's just going to be the way it's going to be. Plus, Jim Walsh comes by to talk about, the ongoing battle with the millionaire's tax. What else are we going to get him on? I'm going to ask you about all the smuggling. By the way, if you want to buy a pot shop or a smoke shop in Washington, there's a whole bunch for sale. I wonder why. And I'm going to say the rest of the stuff because I don't want to miss Andrea Suarez coming in. Hold on a second. Do we have no walk-on music for her? We don't need that. All right, Suarez from We Heart Seattle. First of all, how are the death threats going?
The death threats, I've had a hard week.
Why would anybody want to off you?
I don't know. I guess I tell the truth, and it's very uncomfortable.
Is it because you wear a fanny pack over your shoulders? Is that what it is? Is it more fashion than anything else?
I'm a Rotarian too. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh,
They're mad at their grandpa.
All right, let's start with the fact that Katie Wilson has said, well, we've got the soccer, got the world coming here, so we need tiny homes. I think 500. What does she want to build? How many?
500 by June 15th and 1,000 by the end of the year.
Okay. The cost of the thing is like $1,000 at $1,300 a house or something, right?
Oh, it's something like $5,000 to build.
No.
A little bit more expensive than that.
Shwaba, no way.
Way.
I go to Home Depot and get one for $800.
Yeah, people like tents. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry to sleep outside in a tent. We could just build sanctioned camps for a lot less expensive as well.
Okay, so 500 homes, 5,000 apiece. This is the plan. So what happens? Give me best case scenario.
Well, my question is who are they for? She talks about people in doorsteps, in tents, being swept over and over again. And that population is the service resistant. They've likely already had a tiny house or have housing, and they don't want those. They don't want the rules. These are your really chronic, homeless, high utilizers in the parks, openly using drugs. They don't want to be confined to a shack that is supposed to store a lawnmower. They're not down for that.
Yeah, but those that are going to tiny houses, what's the advantage for them? Certainly not legally, but just generally for enjoyment of sex traded for $5 or drugs.
So the argument, the persuasion on her end and to the council is this is a place to stabilize a person, just get them inside to stabilize them. But when you're being housed with your drug dealer and your permanent drug buddy on either side of you, how is that stabilizing you? Show me the 100 people that graduated in the last 90 days that went to treatment, reunited with family, went back to work. Show us those success stories. I think we're hungry for that. And then we'll shut up. But right now I'm showing you that those tiny houses are used to continue to smoke fentanyl, and some of them are designated to use fentanyl together with your friends. And I don't think the average everyday voter or people who build those tiny homes understand that they're there to just give people a place to use drugs.
But as far as it looks good, I mean, it takes the person in the tent off the street, puts them into a big parking lot with a bunch of other people in brightly colored little homes.
Mm-hmm. But they don't stay there. Drugs aren't free. So what do they do all day? They have to still create havoc in our communities, stealing gas, porch pirating, smash and grabs, retail theft. That doesn't go away when you're inside a tiny house because we're not addressing the root cause, which is drug addiction.
Yeah, I went to the Fred Meyer in Ballard on Saturday. The only thing I think that they didn't have locked up was the thing I needed, which was a tie.
Not a hot item on the streets.
Apparently not. But everybody outside that was part of sort of the outdoorsmen, that's a more politically correct term than homeless. So they were all around that area. But when you go into that store, it's like going into Fort Knox. Everything is locked down in that neighborhood because they just know somebody's going to want to come in, steal something, and walk back out again.
Millions of dollars of retail theft. I have a recovering drug addict that told me he easily stole $300,000 a year from Fred Meyer every year.
300,000?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars per person, because then they get the half value out on the street. I mean, it's a big market. The retail theft is huge, and It's expensive to be a drug addict. People don't understand once you go inside to a tiny house or a hotel or an apartment, and we see this over and over again, people are still populating our parks. They're loitering in our streets. Crime and quality of life crimes don't go down because people are actually, we're managing their decline, and they're becoming kind of better drug users. You know, they do have a place they can lay their head down once in a while. They do use the facility. They have their friends over. Most importantly, they are not required to enroll in any kind of services. So when we keep saying, oh, but there's going to be services, the average everyday voter might go, well, that sounds really nice, but they don't understand the mind of a drug addict. The only thing that drug addict cares about is getting more drugs.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about mental health counseling or checking in. It's all on them to do that on their own. And so the case management needs to be much more assertive and or required to get the tiny house.
We're talking with Andrea Suarez from We Heart Seattle. The other part of it is, so let's say the person comes up off the street into the tiny house, the $5,000 tiny house, and then there's probably additional cost to help run the whole place. Mm-hmm. And then the idea is, okay, we're going to get them out of the house, but then we're going to build these apartments for $360,000 per apartment. And once they're in there, I assume at that point, the citizens of Seattle and the citizens of Washington will now expect that person to try to better their life and move up and move out. Or can that person, let's call him Steve. Let's call him Paul, because Paul's producing. So Paul goes into the $360,000 apartment that was built with taxpayer money. What is asked of Paul? Can he live there for the next 20 years?
Yes, he can. And it becomes
Or
Section
30
8.
years, if he lives that long?
75% of the overdoses, this came out of San Francisco recently, which we would follow that same data trend. 70% of all overdoses are now from fixed addresses. So putting somebody inside is to put them inside of an expensive coffin. Call it hospice care, call it end-of-life care, but don't fool everyday citizens that person is going to go into permanent supportive housing and end their fentanyl addiction all on their own.
But permanent supportive housing. So the person goes in there, and they're in there, they don't have to get a job, they don't do anything, and then you just basically just take care of them. They're a ward of the state for the rest of their livelong
Correct.
days.
They lose their teeth, they get thinner, they get malnourished, their apartments become trap houses. I see the decline. They become more hunched over. It's very sad that we're using all of that money to manage a person's decline rather than using the money to manage like a transformation to reach self-sufficiency.
Do you see more and more people coming in from, say, California, out of state, or just other cities that are now more stricter when it comes to how people are going to be?
100%. The inflow crisis, which is what I would ask the mayor, who exactly are those houses for? Because we already know the service resistant aren't going to take them. So what we're seeing is other cities, counties, and states are pivoting to no sit, no lie laws. They are having things like Proposition F out of San Francisco, where you have to take a drug test to get services. We, of course, know the Reset program in San Francisco. No camping bans in Burien. Everett people are coming in droves from Everett, but they're coming here for services. The migrant workers come from off-season farm country to come here because there's services here, and when we have services, we create supply. Supply creates demand, rather.
Right. You talked about people that are resistant to, seeking counseling or anything else. What's the terminology that they use in the state of Washington if the person is a grave threat to their own life?
Gravely disabled or a danger to others.
Okay, so here's a couple examples of people you would determine that would be gravely endangering their own life or to others. So the first one is, who is this lady? The homeless woman who moved to Seattle is looking for help. Is this the woman that's...
This is Holly. This is one of the people that Andrew spoke with here. We have the audio, but I can pull up the video if you'd like to see Holly as well on the YouTube side as well.
However, so what is Holly's story?
Holly is from Louisiana. She came here about a year ago, moved to Everett. Everett, of course, is kicking everybody off the street. Snohomish County in general is pushing people to Seattle, and now she's been swept more than 5 times in North Beacon Hill, and she's malnourished, she's filthy, she doesn't have a place to safely camp. She's getting a free food stamp card and cash benefits up to $450 a month, and she's a drug addict.
Why'd she come here from Louisiana?
She said it was related to a relationship.
Okay. All right.
Which is very common. You hear that. That's what a lot of people say. And she's alive. She's breathing. Holly is an example of she's the inflow crisis. She's coming here. She's camping in our park. She's using drugs. Now she's going to go use the Orca Center, she says, to, maybe get on what's called medical assistant treatment, which is big pharma taking over a drug addict's life just in a different way.
Yeah.
But it's really the other phenomenon out there that is, for me, even more shocking is people that have full-blown apartments that don't use their apartments because they need to be out in their community, in their parks, next to their fellow drug addicts and campers. And we're not just talking about transitional shelters and tiny houses, John. We're talking about full-fledged permanent supportive housing. Those folks are not progressing in their lives. They're still hanging out in the streets. And that's why we never see it get better.
Yeah, whenever I see those pictures of people that are, in the throes of this and enslaved by these drugs, you would think this is somebody's kid, right? You think about it that way. It puts it in perspective. How about this woman complicates the housing first narrative? Is this the woman that's living in her RV or something?
She's multiple times over the years I've met her living in doorsteps, under umbrellas, inside tents, in and around her apartment, which is in Belltown. She lives at the Josephinium, ran by the Catholic Community Services. But her apartment gets so overwhelmed with roaches and garbage and junk that she hoards that eventually she can't even open the door anymore, and she ends up out on the street. We've had her at she's been to my house. I mean, Michelle is ups and downs in her mental illness crisis episodes. And, recently she's now back out on the street. Sounds like she's going to get evicted once and for all. And we're not going to help her anymore, John. We're not going to bail her out this time.
Yeah.
She needs intervention, and I'm done. I'm tired.
Oh, that says something. If Andrea Suarez gets tired on this, how about the people that you said there's a woman that has lived in a box truck for 2 years or something? And when the police go there, they have to make the determination whether this person is, a grave danger to themselves or somebody else. And if they don't take her out of there, you said that she hasn't left the box truck. Either that woman or the other one lives in her car.
Right. So we have, this is a phenomenon. I had not thought I had seen it all. And in the last few weeks, we've met a woman who hasn't left her car in over a year. I mean, cocooned around garbage and moss and mold and garbage and feces. She has not left her car in a year. This other woman out of a box truck in Ballard hadn't left her truck in 2 years, has been living out of a 10 years. The difference between these two, I believe they're both a grave danger to themselves. They're gravely disabled, rather. The police determined that the box truck woman, because she was bedridden and was no longer setting her feces out for her neighbor to remove for her, that she was bedridden and of grave danger to herself. I was very happy that they took her to Swedish, and I found out just this morning that she is in assisted adult living. It can be done if you intervene, and it has to get that bad. She barely had a pulse. She had her thyroid was skyrocketed. She had a severe urinary tract infection, and she was living on a bed of her soiled Depends. And even then, it was like, should we do this? The other woman in Queen Anne's been living out of her car. Police came and said, she's still getting food and her feces removed every day. So we're not, and she's eating her oranges, even though she was 75 pounds. And then, so we called the designated crisis responders, which is this team in King County that are supposed to do these petitions that court order you to be detained. And they rejected her case. So there's just all these nooks and crannies of people that will not accept housing. They don't want help, and they're mentally incompetent to even understand what their situation is. Then you add drugs on top of that.
Yeah. All right. So when Katie joins us tomorrow, of course, being respectful for the elected position, she's been elected by the people of Seattle. This is an enormous part of the ongoing concern that she has because the budget doesn't support it, doesn't have it. But it seems like the housing, homeless industrial complex just wants more building of tiny homes and more building of apartments and stuff like that. But I don't know where the funding comes in there to be actually able to help somebody.
They're finding money here and there, and private charities are coming into play. But I would just ask her, why is it always...
Is this the Andrea Suarez question for Katie Wilson?
The Andrea Suarez question for Katie Wilson, is why are we doubling down on the same exact thing we've done over the last 10 years and expecting a different outcome? Like, what is she doing differently? Is there a requirement for treatment?
Okay, was this a follow-up question? Come on now.
I want to know, is she for safe supply and safe injection? Is that ultimately why mayors aren't cracking down on this drugs? Why isn't fentanyl enough of a grave danger to yourself, why isn't that addiction enough of a grave disability?
Okay.
It's fentanyl.
Got it.
It's terrible.
Oh, my God. All right, there we go. All right. Got it, Andrea?
Got it. Thank you for having me.
Keep the fanny pack around your neck. Still don't understand that one.
Well, it's got everything handy right here.
Okay, all right, good. Andrea Suarez from We Heart Seattle, thank you for time.
Thank you. I wish I was as best dressed as you are.
Just keep up the fight. Okay, goes Nate checking traffic. Nate,
Thanks, John. Gig Harbor westbound 16 is heavy from the Tacoma Narrows Bridge up to Olympic Drive. This is residual traffic from an earlier full closure of the bridge for road work. In Auburn, heading that way, eastbound 18, you're heavy from I-5 all the way over to the Valley Freeway. Just volume. Seattle to Federal Way, we're looking good at 25 minutes. North 405, scattered backups from South Center through the Renton S curves. 25 minutes to get you through downtown Seattle on northbound I-5. Your scattered backups start at the West Seattle Bridge. Speaking of West Seattle, westbound on Fauntleroy at the top of the hill at 35th. Collision blocks 2 right lanes, so drivers are using the 2 left turn lanes to get around this. You're backed up bumper to bumper to the top of that curve at the top of the bridge. Linwood to Seattle, just under 25 minutes. You've got heavy volumes through Northgate. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I got to tell you something. If you've got a bad shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, whatever it is that's bugging you, and you're not able to enjoy your life, you can't go hiking, can't lift the kids, the grandkids cause you problems, you go chase after them. Maybe you're not playing tennis or golf anymore. Just you're being held back from all the stuff that you love to do because of a bad shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee. So you're like, okay, I am going to go see a surgeon. The surgeon's like, let's just see. Yeah, we can fix that for you. But you start to think, wait, is there another thing I could do before surgery? Yes, you can. You go and you send your X-rays or MRIs over to Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. And you're going to be sitting down and talking to the best in the business when it comes to stem cell procedures, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. The first thing you're going to notice about Dr. Mark Wagner is the fact that this guy wants you back on your feet. He loves sports. He loves hiking and swimming and biking. Anything he can do to be outside to enjoy himself. Same thing with you. He wants you back on the tennis court, the golf course, or just picking up the grandkids. So, drmarkwagnermd.com. He's done more than 20,000 of these procedures. He is the guy to talk to, drmarkwagnermd.com.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
The action is fierce, the energy is over the top, and it's a night you don't want to miss. It's Excite Fight Live MMA at Muckleshoot Casino Resort on Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. See a full night of incredible combat when MMA fighters face off in the cage and turn the excitement all the way up. Get your tickets now at MuckleshootCasino.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Tensions escalating yet again between Iran and the United States after the U.S. military seized an Iranian cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, peace talks are still scheduled to take place in Pakistan. CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports Vice President J.D. Vance is leading the U.S. delegation.
Still expected to go to Pakistan either later tonight or at some point tomorrow morning, and the Iranians are still expected to send some kind of a delegation as well. What they'll discuss, for how long, with whom, all of that still not yet known.
The current ceasefire is set to expire on Wednesday. Washington's millionaire's tax is facing new scrutiny. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi explains.
Public records obtained by the Center Square show state lawmakers and the Attorney General's office coordinated on the tax proposal, partly to challenge a long-standing income tax ban. The so-called millionaire's tax is now being challenged in court.
We have reached out to Senator Jamie Peterson, the prime sponsor of the bill, as well as State Attorney General Nick Brown. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is floating a possible pause on new data centers in the city. This move comes after Seattle City Light says it received proposals for 4 massive data centers. Wilson posting on Facebook that no new centers have been approved. She points to concerns over higher electric bills for ratepayers. Tim Cook is stepping down as Apple CEO. He'll be replaced by John Turnus, who's currently in charge of the company's hardware products. More from CBS's Ian Scher.
One key change that Turnus may bring to Apple is a focus from the top on design. Tim Cook has always been known for his strengths in supply chain and operations management, but John Turnus reportedly has that focus on design that Apple is known for.
Turnus will take over for Cook on September 1st. Meta may be looking to slash 10% of its global workforce. Reuters reports that's about 8,000 employees. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun reports the cuts are scheduled to take effect on May 20th.
We told you about the local Meta layoffs back in March. That's when the tech giant said 168 workers will be laid off starting on May 8th. Those workers in the Seattle, Bellevue, and Redmond areas, along with remote positions in Washington.
No comment yet from Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 3:33. We check in with Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Northbound I-5 through Seattle, you've got scattered backups starting at the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. Nothing new here, taking you 25 minutes to clear this. Once you get over the Ship Canal Bridge, it's looking good. In fact, Seattle to Everett is just 35 minutes. Bellevue to Everett around the same at 40 minutes. You are crowded through Kirkland into Bothell. South 5 heading into Seattle. It's pretty thick there in Northgate. You'll thin out through the U District. Linwood to Seattle, a 25-minute drive. In West Seattle, westbound Fauntleroy at 35th, the collision takes up 2 right lanes. You're backed up to the top of the bridge. Bellevue to Renton, just 20 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 35. And Tacoma to Olympia looking good at 40 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Nice afternoon, looking at high clouds, but also some sun peeking through, and highs today in the upper 60s and low 70s. Scattered showers, though, come tomorrow and again on Wednesday. Right now, 68 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, here we go with the John Curley Show. Thanks, everybody. In here, don't forget the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line at 1-888-973-5476. All are welcome. Home Comfort Alliance. I can't think of any other place. I may think heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. It's just Home Comfort Alliance. They got it all for you there. Thank you, by the way, guys, Home Comfort Alliance. This is a personal call going out. I still need you to come out and put the generator in. So, make a note. Curly needs a generator. There we go. Well, it started out in 1986, and it was the combination of, Americans love to shop and they love TV. Let's put the two of them together and allow them to sit there, watch television, and shop. By 1987, they were on 24 hours a day, and the reason people liked it is because they felt that the hosts were their friends that just knew a lot about air fryers and other stuff that you wanted to buy. And they were changing how people bought stuff. You get 24 hours a day, anytime you want to, just wake up and buy something on QVC. It was really killing it. Well, now they've declared that they are bankrupt. They say, well, we're just, shortening things up, and they're done. They're over because they kind of missed what was happening. People didn't care about the host anymore. They just wanted the best price, and QVC was not able to offer that. They tried a bunch of different sort of things to try to make it all work, and it's all basically just sort of fallen down around it. But for a brief period of time, well, actually not too brief, but 10 years, 12 years, they did killer business. I got hired to be a fill-in host, and the job of the fill-in host was, it was 4 hours. You get the product. You're in a gigantic studio. You have like 6 products you're going to sell. They give you a little time to kind of look at it, figure it all out. And then it was just 4 continuous hours or 3 continuous hours of live television selling whatever you had to sell. And they paid you $130,000 base, and then you got like a percentage of your sales on top. And when I was there, they had a monitor in front of you that would show you how many calls were coming in from, bedridden people or somebody living in an iron lung that desperately needed some turquoise jewelry or something. So you'd look at the monitor while you're selling whatever you're selling, and you could see when the calls were dropping down. You're like, oh my God, I better change my technique a little bit and say something else that's compelling about this. It's a hard job because as soon as you're finished with the one, then you got to run over to the next studio and stand there, and then you got the stupid product in front of you, and you got to try to sell that one. So I remember when I got hired, I called Mike Rowe, Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs, and now he's famous for some mobile cell phone service.
Yeah, he's on like every radio ad, I feel like.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I say, hey, Mike, I just got hired at QVC. And he goes, what's your start date? And I told him, he goes, oh, great. Okay, so remind me to tune in 3 months. I said, why? Because that's the point you're going to lose your mind on air, and I want to see it because it's going to be really fun to watch you have a mental breakdown. Like, for instance, I think this is the first one that got him fired. This is Mike selling porcelain Christmas dolls.
Let's see. Give Mary a little... Excuse me, Mary. I'm trying to...
By the way, you have to understand... When you first get hired, they make you do the crappy shift, like 2 o'clock in the morning to like 4 or 5. And sometimes, even if you become a staff, because the main hosts want the good times, because that's when everybody's out there. So you're working at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're just hoping somebody calls. And if they don't call, you have to sit there with the product for like 12 hours or 12 minutes, which feels like 12 hours. So this you can't see, but Mike is playing with the little dolls. And you can hear the crew because this is overnight guys. He's just twisting their arms around.
What is going to be the item number? Let's give her a little turn.
He's really enjoying.
Does this song sound familiar to you? This is that Christmas favorite. Oh, what a merry little Christmas day.
Yeah, sure.
If you know the words, sing along. An instant classic. Contemporary. I don't know this one.
No one's calling in. He's dying out there.
What a merry little Christmas day. What a merry, merry little Christmas.
Okay. This caller told something these hosts have never heard before. Is this who's this? One of the people called
This was from TikTok, and this lady did something interesting with pasties.
By the way, whenever you did have a call, in your ear they'd be like, okay, you got a call, take a call. And then if you didn't have anything else to say, you would get that person on the line. They were like you were a drowning man. You're just holding on to their body, hoping you could just sort of fill time with them here.
And with the submarine
I
story,
wanted to tell you that I got that peasant blouse with the tassels.
Yes.
And I used to wear the tassels on my pasties. Do you know what pasties are?
Okay.
Do you know what pasties are?
Yes. Let me. I'm going to do.
Okay. Well, I had tassels on my pasties.
Yeah.
Marianne, I just want to say this. You are my emotional support diva. Okay, you have just made my whole entire day. Mary's walked off. She's dead on the couch.
Yeah.
I'm having therapy with Mary Ann right now.
Mary Ann is my sister from another mister.
Okay, so it did work for people, but unfortunately, most of the people that were listening and buying, they should have been purchasing cemetery plots because that was sort of more in the demographic of the people that were watching QVC. I remember when I had to get on there and sell Zach and Danny's Gourmet Coffee Roaster with Bob Bowersock's Sunday in the Kitchen with Bob. And in a little 1 minute, I have to tell a story, and if I miss it, I'll carry it over. So Bob comes over to me before we go on. He goes, "What do you got?" And I go, "Doing coffee roaster." He goes, "Yeah, I hate coffee. Not a big coffee fan. Can't stand coffee. Coffee's the worst. Can't drink it. I just, as soon as I get it in my mouth, I just want to throw it up." I'm like, "Well, we got to taste it on the air." "Yeah, well, okay, whatever." So I get there. I set up the whole set. They got a great big room. You can decorate your own kitchen. So I decided to go with happy clowns. And I put clowns all over the place. I had my coffee out there, and I put out my little green beans and everything. So then Bob Bowersox is running. He's selling something in the other set. So now he comes running across to bring the cameras over. And they're coming out 5, 4, 3. Hey, everybody. Bob Bowersox here and Sunday in the Kitchen with Bob. Joining me now is John Curley with what you say is the greatest cup of coffee. Now, Bob didn't realize that I got there so early and it took me so long to set up because I wasn't sure to go with, happy clowns or French chickens as the backdrop for my kitchen set that I completely lost track of the time.
Oh, boy.
And what happened next on air, I can't find anywhere, but I'll tell you what happened. But first, I check with Nate on traffic. Nathan!
Thank you, sir. Overall, it's a Monday light commute. Northbound I-5 through Seattle, nothing new. You've got scattered backups starting at the West Seattle Bridge or the Ship Canal. About 25 minutes to get you through downtown. Up in Everett, we're looking good. North 5 slows a bit, just north of 526 to Highway 2. Everett to Marysville, less than 10 minutes. South 5 heading into Seattle is thick in Northgate. You'll thin out a bit in the U District, and then it gets heavy at about 520 to I-90, all added up. It's about 25 minutes from Linwood into Seattle. Still got this collision heading into West Seattle on westbound Fauntleroy at the top of the hill at 35th, blocking 2 right lanes. In Federal Way, we have a new collision. It's westbound 18 at your ramp to southbound I-5. It's fully blocking that on-ramp. You're backed up to Weyerhaeuser. That's a bumper-to-bumper backup, and looks like from my camera view that drivers might be sneaking around this on the right shoulder. And if you're heading out toward Gig Harbor this afternoon, westbound 16 is heavy from the west end of the Narrows Bridge up to Olympic Drive. Just volume here. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers awesomely. Nearly 600 mil to people that play. Another 180 mil to vocational training and education from preschool to college. Now you got the knowledge, a win-win for all of us. Play Washington lottery, lottery, lottery. Play Washington lottery, lottery, yeah.
Visit WaLottery.com. Who benefits to learn more.
I never thought of myself as the type to settle down. Never knew where the team's next lunch was coming from. But then I met you, Easy Cater.
Workplaces everywhere are saying, I do want delicious food at work. And they're ordering from beloved restaurants with Easy Cater.
You were reliable. You had great options for every budget, even when marketing ops did keto again. We got through that together. With you, it's just so easy. Easy Cater, will you keep showing up at my workplace forever?
Find love at first lunch. Order at easycater.com.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Wowie!
What's with the
water heater's worn out?
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all,
what?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today, if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at ApolloPlumbing.com.
If you're over 62 and feel squeezed by rising monthly bills, listen carefully. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home, want to stay in it, but feel more financial pressure every month. Property taxes are adding up. Insurance is up. Everyday bills are up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment on top of all of that. Are you worried about outliving your savings? A reverse mortgage could help by eliminating your mortgage payment, paying off debt, and giving you breathing room every month. Now, let me be clear, it's not right for everyone. But for the right person, it can be a powerful tool. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, you'll talk directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for your situation. If you're 62 or older and want straight answers about staying in your home with less financial stress, call me today, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
All right, here we go. The John Curley Show. Thank you, all, one and all. How about Joe Rogan getting the president to decide to look into psychedelics? And then the president has a little comment on that. But first, okay, back to my QVC story. So here's how I got the job. I had to go in there and I sit down. The guy says, I need you to sell me something. And he gives me his, I can't remember the guy's name. And he goes, what do you want to sell? And I said, I don't know. What do you want me to sell? He said, here, sell this pen. Now, I knew that that's the way they do it. So you have to sit there and talk for 10 minutes about a pen. And you have to tell stories. What they want to see, you don't talk about the benefits and features of the pen, but then you have to say stuff like, now this particular pen will allow you to sign your name and the name of the child on the birth certificate. This will be the pen. This is the pen that you hand down from generation to generation. This is the pen that you sign the deed to a new home with. This really is not a pen. This is your way of marking major milestones in your life. And right now, your QVC number is 12456. We've got operators standing by. You've received this pen to you, gift wrap, just $86, which was made in China for $1. But anyway, okay. So I get the job. Here's what happens. So you get there, and only had to sell one thing that day. They said, "Oh, you're going to be in set 6 or whatever it was, gigantic warehouse." And I go in, there's no decorations on the set. So I go to this other room. They have a huge closet, not by closets by design, and you can choose any way you want to decorate your set. And I was like, do I want to go little chickens or clowns, chickens and clowns? I spent so much time decorating the set that I lose track of the time. I plug the coffee in. I make a really good pot of coffee, but then I disconnect the plug so I could plug in one of the clowns to spin around and play a song, which seemed really important at the time. So Bob Bowersox comes running in and tells me that he doesn't like coffee. He hates coffee, so he's going to do the best he can to help sell these Zaccadenny's Gourmet Coffee Roaster. So I'm there talking all about it's the best cup of coffee in the world, and I look over, I can see on the monitor that like no one's calling in. So you have 12 minutes to sell, but if no one's calling in, they start cutting your time. And I really want to sell this stuff because I want to make some money. So then I said, the best way to be able to know how great this is, Bob, is for you to have a cup of this coffee. It is the greatest cup of coffee. Now, Bob thinks I'm doing this to him on purpose. I go back. As I reached for the pot of coffee, I've noticed that it's the oily film of coffee that's been sitting cold on a set surrounded by rotating singing clowns. And I pour it into the cup. I'm like, oh, my God. It is ice cold, and it's probably the worst cup of coffee in the world. And I give it to him. I get a mug of it, too. We cheer, and then he drinks it, and I see the look on his face like, you... He thinks I'm doing it to him intentionally. And then at that point, he decides he's going to like squeeze me out of the shot and not include me at all. And he just basically lets the thing go into the toilet. I remember walking off the set and the guy from Zaccadenny's like, okay, didn't go the way we thought it would go. He was like, it was my fault, Bob. I gave Bob cold coffee.
The clowns.
How about the clowns? Oh, my God. I was so watching because you could see no one's calling in. They're just like, going straight down, like get off it. I had to sell an anchor once, a boat anchor for 8 minutes.
Was it more successful than the coffee? I'm impressed you still remember. You have the coffee maker like...
Oh, Zaccadenny's Gourmet Coffee Roaster. It's the green beans are sent to your house. That's where they get you. The coffee was great. You pay for the green beans, then you roast them. Yes. And now that's not even around anymore either. So QVC going away. Sorry, everybody. Find your, I don't know what they sell on there anymore.
Commemorative coins
and
blades, I feel like.
And jewelry for Zoftic women. Here's Nate. Check your traffic, Nathan.
This one brought to us by Global Credit Union and Federal Way. We cleared that collision westbound 18 at the ramp to southbound I-5. That backup is quickly clearing out. Tacoma to Olympia, you're looking pretty good. At just 40 minutes, you've got scattered slowing through South Tacoma, and then just a brief backup there through JBLM. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, a 35-minute drive. The north end, you're looking good. The south end gets packed from Algona into Puyallup. Here in Seattle, North 5, our scattered backups now start before the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. Still about 25, 30 minutes max to get your way through downtown. South 5 is heavy from Northgate, and then from there it's scattered backups down to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, plan on 25 minutes. Looks like we're making some progress in West Seattle, westbound Fauntleroy 35th. Collision now blocks just to the far right lane. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com. Clutter happens. Let Closets by Design save the day. For a limited time, get 40% off plus 15% more and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A moo-moo is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO News Radio app.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connects to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
John Curley here. You know a smart thing to do right now? Upgrade your cooling now with Home Comfort Alliance. Choose a Lennox cooling system and get a heating system free. Their 60-second online price estimator makes it so easy. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. Try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Wendy Gillette. A second round of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran, set to begin tomorrow, remains in question. CBS's Ed O'Keefe from the White House.
Still expected to go to Pakistan either later tonight or at some point tomorrow morning, and the Iranians are still expected to send some kind of a delegation as well. What they'll discuss, for how long, with whom, all of that still not yet known.
Tensions escalated over the weekend. U.S. forces shot at and seized an Iranian tanker, claiming it had violated a U.S. blockade. As correspondent Charlie D'Agata reports from Tel Aviv, Israel, it's one of many.
Officials tell us they turned around maybe 24. 27, I think, is the latest number, probably updated by now, either turning them back or stopping them from heading into Iranian ports.
FBI Chief Kash Patel has filed suit against The Atlantic after the magazine published a story that claims he has a drinking problem. Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen.
CBS News has not independently verified and confirmed these anecdotes that are in this piece, but what it has brought up was the national security concerns that have arisen because of it.
The Atlantic stands by its reporting. High meat prices have reportedly caught the attention of Washington.
The Department of Justice's Antitrust Division is investigating the nation's biggest meatpacking companies amid record high prices for beef. That's according to the Wall Street Journal, which reports a probe into possible criminal anti-competitive conduct. Such investigations usually involve allegations of price fixing, market collusion, or companies rigging their bids to customers. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Apple has picked a new leader, John Turnus, as CEO Tim Cook steps down. CBS News tech contributor Ian Scher.
One key change that Turnus may bring to Apple is a focus from the top on design. Tim Cook has always been known for his strengths in supply chain and operations management, but John Turnus reportedly has that focus on design that Apple is known for.
A wildfire rerouted an Amtrak train in Florida. WKMG TV's Catherine Silver.
Got as far as Palatka train station and found out there was a fire going on.
We saw the ashes falling. We smelled the smoke in the car.
Nearly 3,000 acres are burning near the Clay and Putnam County line with little containment.
This fire is not going to go out overnight. It's going to burn for days.
The Florida Forest Service says drought conditions, low humidity, and strong winds have led to red flag warnings for most of North Florida Monday and much of Southwest and Central Florida Tuesday.
On Wall Street, the Dow dropped 4 points. The S&P 500 lost 16. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Coming up, a dispute over the raid of 5 Asian massage parlors. The updates after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thank you, Aaron. Wilcox Family Farms Eggs has our update. We're looking pretty good out there. A Monday light commute for the most part here in Seattle. North 5, we've got scattered backups before the West Seattle Bridge or the Ship Canal. It's a half hour to clear this. That's about our biggest backup this afternoon. South 5 is heavy off and on from Northgate into downtown. 25-minute commute from Linwood to Seattle. Seattle to Everett, just 40 minutes. Bellevue to Everett is up to 50. Both of our lake bridges are wide open. 520 jams up at the Arboretum. Bellevue to Renton looking good at just 20 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia not bad at 40 minutes. We have scattered slowing through South Tacoma between State Route 16 and Lakewood, and then just a brief 2-mile backup through JBLM. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is up to 40 minutes, and it's heavy from Algona into Puyallup. For a convenient, healthy snack on the go, look for ready-to-eat Wilcox hard-boiled eggs. Find Wilcox eggs at Costco, Metro Market, Safeway, and other local grocers. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Supporters of 5 Bothell massage parlors that were shut down last Friday now claim they are being harassed because they're Asian-owned businesses.
It is an excuse to impose police oversight on immigrants who are just trying to make a living.
But Bothell Police Captain Mike Johnson says they found evidence there that leaves no doubt about the services being offered.
A whole bunch of condoms. Some were new, some were used, some were open and being ready to be used.
The owner of 2 of those parlors was arrested last week. The businesses were also shut down due to safety concerns and code-related problems. The investigation goes on. More charges are possible. A 14-time convicted felon led deputies on a 120-mile-an-hour chase through Olympia last night. Bail was set at $15,000 for that suspect. Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders says Washington's bail system is broken. He wants judges to start asking 2 simple questions before deciding bail.
1, are you going to show up at your next court date based on your prior history? And 2, are you a threat to community safety? Those are the only 2 questions I care about when it comes to whether or not someone's going to be released on preliminary hearings.
Sanders tells KIRO Radio's Gian Ursula the problem is how judges choose to interpret state law that varies wildly county to county. A retired police canine that was named in honor of the victims of a 2014 natural disaster has died. Here's KIRO Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Arlington police say Canine Oso passed away peacefully on Friday with his handler by his side. Oso served with the department for 7 years and retired in June of 2022. He responded to more than 16,000 calls for service, and he helped catch more than 100 violent criminals. His handler had named him in honor of the 43 people who died in the 2014 Oso landslide. Oso was 13 years old. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Draft week in the NFL. Coach Mike McDonald and the Seahawks hold the 32nd and final pick in round 1.
I really appreciate the amount of work that goes into it. I mean, even our coaches, like, they come in at the 11th hour. Like, I think they have a great understanding of, what it takes to generate this information from our scouting department and how great they do.
Hawks currently hold 4 total picks over 7 rounds. Analysts say they'll likely trade for more. Round 1 kicks off on Thursday. Your weather update now, looking at dry conditions tonight. Tomorrow things change, though, increasing clouds and scattered showers. Also for Wednesday, we'll see some showers. Right now, though, beautiful 72 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Here we go with the John Curley Show. Joe in Hawaii, Paul filling in. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. There's Nate is in there. Nate, did you get a haircut? What's going on in there? Didn't even listen. What are you saying there? No. Never mind. No, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, haircut.
Okay, thanks. Playing with fire. Said you're playing with fire.
Yeah, fire too.
Okay, never mind. Gee whiz. All right, time All right, hey everybody, congratulations. It is 420, man. So long. It's dedicated to marijuana. Marijuana. Aaron doesn't care.
Pot historians say that 420 actually got started back in 1971 in California as a way for teenagers to meet at 4:20 p.m. to smoke marijuana. John says he started smoking pot in the 70s. So what has changed?
Oh, it's gotten so much better, stronger. Back in the day, it wasn't that good.
Many use 420.
Yeah, back in the day, you had to watch out as a seed would pop up and hit you in the eye.
Right out of there, wham.
You had your Frisbee, your clean out. Oh, it's mostly
stems and seeds.
Stems and seeds, man. A lot of lumber in this.
A lot of lumber.
It always weirdly was like the drug dealer, the guy, his face, he was a drug dealer, would always give you the baggie, but lick the baggie, like somehow licking the baggie would close it. Did you ever get that? Oh, I caught you. I knew you bought drugs illegally. I knew you could get you with that.
Money to promote the full legalization of cannabis.
Yeah, all right. So here's what's happening in the state of Washington. Remember, we have the most expensive marijuana anywhere in the country because our taxes are the highest, on the 37% excise tax on top of it. So they originally thought, we're just going to make a whole bunch of money. We'll give everybody all these licenses. Will everybody sell all this? Well, the problem was they had too many licenses went out there. Cost too much for all of it. Now, I looked up online. I see 7 smoke shops, marijuana stores, that are for sale in the Seattle or in King County and around the state of Washington. You could pick one up cheap, really cheap, but because people are buying it somewhere else. Because the state of Washington slaps such a giant tax on it that the black market is still in effect. They didn't really want to get rid of marijuana. They just want to make money off it, and they did. In 2021, they made $590 million in tax. And then this year, or 2025, it's down to $438 million. They lost $121 million. So the state loses $121 million because not as many people are buying marijuana at the stores. It's $121 million. And you think about all the great services the state of Washington has to provide. So let's do the math real fast. So in order to provide medical transitioning, like surgery for men that say they're women and want to still be in the prison system in the state of Washington, it costs us $5 million they've got $5 million set aside for each one of those guys. So it could be like 20, 30 men that would like to transition to women will not be able to have that service provided for them because we're not selling as much marijuana. See how that's all interconnected. But hey, happy 420 day to everybody. Still struggling from overdosing and having to go to the Overlake Hospital because I accidentally.
I think I remember hearing.
Because
that
I bought the liquid.
Okay.
And I was on a date, and we bought the liquid. It was 15 grams or something, and asked the lady, what do you do? She goes, there's a little shot glass on top. So we each took a little shot glass and finished it. Okay, so that was whatever it was. Was it 15? No. 30 milligrams, right?
Milliliters?
No, that's what's it? One edible is 10 milligrams, right?
Yeah.
So this is 30. Okay. She goes, just be careful. Maybe since you're not used to it, don't do the whole thing. So we threw her out of the West. We both took, which was about 10 milligrams. Fine, dandy. Boop. Well, this is crazy. It tastes like strawberries. A fun date. 2 weeks later, go back. And I said, let's do that again, right? And I said to the lady, she goes, I remember you two. You're so cute. You're on your first date or second date. I have this. It's for sale. It's 30% off. I said, we'll take that one. It's pineapple flavor. You want to do? Let's do that one. We buy it. We consume it, do the same thing. And then a half hour later, my date says to me, I can't feel my hands anymore. And I said, well, I can still see them, so you're okay. She goes, no, there's something wrong, seriously wrong. So I'm on the phone trying to figure out, oh, my God, what's going on? And she's freaking out where there's a little Italian restaurant in Bellevue. So I'm quietly singing in my phone, is it possible to overdose on marijuana? Because I didn't want to freak her out.
Right.
And it comes back real loud. You cannot overdose on marijuana. I'm turning it down. Well, apparently you can if you have 150 milligrams is what she had and what I had. So then I drove, I don't know how, sorry everybody, slowly at 2.5 miles an hour. I went over to Overlake Hospital, couldn't figure out how to turn the car off, left the car running in the emergency room or outside the emergency. If I drove it into the emergency room, I'm really in trouble. And then we're in there, oh my God. The doctor realizes that I'm not her husband when he comes in and says, so we need to do an EKG for your wife, so I'm going to just have her take her blouse off. Well, I'm not going to sit in there for that. Right. I don't know this person that well. So I said, okay, I'll wait in the other room. And the doctor goes, we're just going to have her just take her blouse off. I said, I know, but we're a very private couple. The guy's like, okay, this doesn't make sense. So then he talks to her and finds out that I am not the husband. And 20 minutes later, the cops show up.
Yeah, red flags going up there on that one, I'm sure.
The Bellevue police came in just to see what's going on. I'm like, guys, let me tell you something. I'm really messed up, too. So it's not like I was trying to, zonk her with something. I'm having a lot of problems. And I think I called in sick the next day. Anyway, I guess the moral of the story is stay in the room when they put the AKG on her.
I'm just surprised you were even managed to turn your car on after 150 milligrams.
It wasn't my car, and it was a fancy car, and all you had to do was press the button that said, start button.
Yeah. Push the start ignition, okay.
Right, but then when I got there, Then I was in a different state where I just left it running for 12 hours out front of Overlake Hospital emergency room parking.
There was no like, can someone please get the car?
What's that?
Did you at least put it in park?
I put it in park. I could figure that out. But after that, it was bad. And I didn't want to I didn't want to lay down on the bed because then they'll charge me. I didn't want my own room.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept curling up like some sort of weird hobbit at the bottom of her emergency bed. And then the nurse kept coming in, sir, you can't do that. I was like, oh, okay. And I would just sit in the chair, and then they'd leave, and I'd get back into the bed and all curled up like, please help us. And like every 20 minutes, the doctor came in and just yelled at us. You know, you guys are adults, and you should know. I'm like, can you give us something?
Yeah, I don't need the lecture.
Give me something. Help
You're not my parents. You're not my dad.
Can they give you anything?
Not really. There's nothing really to bring you back down.
Popsicle would have been good probably at that time.
Oh, anything?
Please tell me you didn't tell the cops that you drove there.
No, I didn't. Oh, please. No, I just told them that I was in no way trying to anesthetize her to a second date with me.
Just pay no attention to the car that's running outside the parking lot.
Completely deny that. It wasn't my car. I don't know what that's all about.
Just push the button. It'll turn off.
Okay, well, you know what, though? It's easy for you to say. Easy for you to say. I was in some serious problems. Serious problems. I kept thinking, oh, my God, I've got a brain damage. I'm never going to go back from this. And when I called the lady and at the store there, she goes, oh, well, the last one was $30. This was $300. I said, oh, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And then I told the cops where I bought it, and then they went and checked out the story, and off the hook, other than climbing up at the bottom of the bed. Sad news for Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe. They announced that they're breaking up. The couple shared the news last Friday in a joint social media statement. It's so sad they have to do this, stating that the decision was made with love and respect. They have been together since 2017. I've never met Megan Rapinoe, but I've met Sue Bird numerous times. Really enjoyed watching her take the Storm to the championships, and sad to see this thing end. And I remember reading a statistic one time that that lesbian divorces, I think, are 3 times higher. Remember my notes. 3 times higher than heterosexual or gay marriages. And one of the reasons is because this. What's the joke? What does a lesbian take on a second date? Anybody? Anyone? A U-Haul. So what they found is normally in a heterosexual relationship, the woman 69 to 90% of the time will call it quits. Guys are like, marriage sucks, but I'm going to hang in there. They just keep going and going and going. But most of the time, the woman is like, okay, I'm done. This is horrible. You're a jerk. You don't treat me right. I just hate living with you. I want a divorce. The woman normally throws down the divorce page. So if you get 2 women together in a relationship, it just makes sense because emotionally there's more demand for connection, and it'd be more likely to have one of the women that are in marriage to call it quits. So that's why it tends to be 3 times higher than in a heterosexual or in a gay relationship, because there's just more need from the 2 women. Makes sense. And no judgment at all, just kind of the way it goes. Often they say that women tend to, because emotionally making deeper connections at a faster, shorter, brief courtship time leads to the idea, that's the punchline on what does a lesbian take on a second date? A U-Haul. So that's where it is. Sad to see it. It's unfortunate that they have to do it in a very public way. Hopefully people weren't like taking jabs at him. Were they saying anything? Did you say anything nasty?
I didn't say anything too nasty. I mean, these relationships end, right? Whether it be, a heterosexual or a
well, if you're in a
LGBTQ.
lesbian one, it's 3 times faster.
Well, it doesn't make me feel, it doesn't make it help.
Well, are you married?
I am married. Well,
how long has it been?
Let's see, going on 3 years this year.
Second or third marriage?
First marriage.
Oh, okay.
Just 2024, June of 24 is when I got married. I'm only 31, so I'm young.
How's it going?
Good.
No, honestly, really, it's okay. You can air it.
No, a lot of learning, a lot of growing, and I just met a lot of my
part or
in-laws.
her part?
Probably more my part than her part.
That's
I feel
right.
like
That's
I got
right.
to,
That's right. The one, like when Nick asked me to marry her, I said, no way. I'm not getting married. I don't need to get married again. Not a third time, right? I'll just find a woman I hate and I'll buy her a house. It'd be much easier, much faster. And she said, why don't you want to marry me? I said, because I'm too old. I'm 60, 61, 60, whatever it was, and I don't want to change. I like my life. Oh, I like being weird. I'm getting weirder. I just plan on getting weirder and weirder. And she goes, no, I'm not going to try to change you. I'm just going to adjust you. I don't want to change you. Just make minor adjustments. But then I realized minor adjustments. Imagine like an amplifier, and they've got the treble and the bass. You got the balance. You got a bunch of other buttons. Imagine just anything that's got a bunch of buttons, right? And all she wanted to do was just like turn some buttons down, and that's what adjusting is, and turn other buttons up. So I don't want to change you, just want to just adjust you.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, I got an idea. So let's say how about I want to adjust you? Like, let's imagine the same thing. Let's say I want to make an adjustment on you. What do? She goes, oh, well, what I do is I go over to your adjustment buttons, and I just, the button that makes you want to adjust me, I just turn that one all the way down on you. I was like, what?
Makes sense.
Wait a minute. Wait. What is this I'm getting into? It does thank you. Doesn't it make sense?
And
I'm not going to change you.
From a woman's brain, that makes complete sense.
What I'm going to do is just get you to the point that you realize you don't need to make that adjustment, and I'll just adjust that down. Whatever your demand is, it just needs to go down to 1.
You will just be numb to all other things and concepts.
Exactly. But I got to tell you, when I asked her, why do you want to get married? And she had been proposed to 5 times. Wow. And at one time, the guy called Inside Edition or Hard Copy or one of those shows, I want to propose to my girlfriend and I want to do it in a fun way. They're like, oh, okay, what are you going to do? I'm going to do it at Salt Lake Airport. I was going to have like champagne come by and a ring come by and roses on the baggage claim. And Hard Copy's like, great, we'll be there in 2 weeks. Make sure we set it all up. We'll have hidden cameras. So they had the whole thing ready to go. So Nick gets off the plane. I'm sure she's thinking, I'm going to break up with this guy. And all of a sudden goes, oh, we need to get our bags. So they got the hidden cameras. They got everybody standing around. They had called ahead to get Delta Airlines, one of them, to agree to it. So they're waiting for the bags. And if you're on a week or, maybe week-long vacation with somebody that you're not quite sure that you really like anymore, because after a week of vacation, you're like, can't stand this person. So I don't know where she was on the can't stand scale, but she wasn't able to adjust this guy. So the bags are coming by, and she's standing there, and all of a sudden the first thing comes by, it's just a rose. The next thing she's like watching that, another one, then another rose. And then all of a sudden along comes this suitcase with a big ice bucket with champagne, more roses, and the ring in the box. And it stops right in front of. He drops down onto his knee. The cameras from Hard Copy or Inside Edition whatever come rushing over, and all the people start cheering. And he proposes to her right there. And they get out to. The blue zone is for loading and unloading only. That's where I'm going to unload. She gets out there and she's like, I'm not marrying you. I am not marrying you. I don't know what the hell that was, but we are now getting married.
Please tell me we have the footage.
Oh, no, I don't know where it is.
We need this footage.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, because I see it. Can you imagine her face as stuff's going by and you realize, oh my God, is that for me? Keep that baggage claim thing going. Keep the bell going. Down to the other couple.
Just imagine his face.
What do you mean?
Just getting said no to.
Oh no, but I was outside in the loading and unloading zone.
Save the face with the hidden camera.
Yeah, she wasn't gonna bust him right there.
Right. But then
yeah, because then but look, when people make those public engagements like that, it's like you're running a risk on it, right?
I'm so glad I talked to my friend. I was gonna do a public engagement, and then my friends were like, and then my wife was like, I have one rule about the engagement. It is not public. Do not take me to a ballpark and put me on the Jumbotron. If you do, I will say no.
Because it says something about the guy. Like, we're like, I'm going to make this big public thing, and it's all going to be crazy. I'm crazy like that. So it's not really about her.
Right.
It's about you. It's about how you want. It's very selfish. We should look up to see, ask ChatGPT, how many of those public engagement weddings or marriages ever last? I'm going to guess low. And that's why Nick was able to get out of it.
50% rate, isn't it already? The divorce in America, isn't it already? The marriages?
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Busting the curve on that. All right, here comes Nate. Check your traffic, Nathan.
Thanks, John. Here in Seattle, North 5, scattered backup starting before the West Seattle Bridge up to the Ship Canal. Getting close to this being a solid backup, but not quite yet. We're right around a half hour to get through this. But once you clear this, it's clear all the way into Shoreline. And from there, just minor off and on crowding through Linwood. So Seattle to Linwood, just a half hour. Bellevue to Linwood, you're at 35 minutes. Scattered slowing between Kirkland and Alderwood. Everett to Marysville, a 10-minute commute. You're crowded between 526 and Highway 2, and then you'll open up. South 5 slows from the U District to I-90. We're down to 20 minutes now from Linwood into downtown Seattle. That's improved a bit from our last report. South 405, you're all clear until you get into Bellevue. From there, you're slow from 520 all the way into Renton. Bellevue to Renton is a 25-minute trip. North 405, you're slow from South Center through the Renton S-curves. And Tacoma to Olympia up to 45 minutes. We've got a new backup in South Tacoma between 56th and 84th from an earlier crash. And then another 2 to 3 mile backup through JBLM. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This is James Lynch. I've covered crime for more than 40 years all across the country. Now I'm turning my focus to some of the toughest cold cases right here in Western Washington.
It was very dark, very foggy.
Wednesday on Seattle's Morning News, a late-night hit and run.
Nobody stopped for him.
A $50,000 reward and still no answers for a desperate family.
It is really hard not knowing what happened to our dear son.
The Cold Case Project, Wednesday mornings at 7:45 on Seattle's Morning News.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Looking for lumber with a story? Then you've got to check out the new Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse in Soto. Be the first to get your hands on reclaimed lumber with original character and local history. Their warehouse is packed with new inventory now, but when this wood is gone, it's gone. So act fast. Come visit the Salvage Lumber Warehouse for the grand opening on May 2nd from 11 to 3 in Soto. And remember, this lumber is harvested from structures, not forests. Find them at ewsalvage.com.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
The John Curley Show.
I can't wait till I get a little older, be the really crotchety old guy, getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Hey, what a surprise. We got tons of rain here in the Northwest in the late winter into the spring. It all adds up. Now's the time of the year when the ground becomes completely saturated with water, and that can cause real problems in your crawl space. It's Mike Salk here, and groundwater intrusion in crawl spaces, it's pretty common, but it's got to be addressed before it causes structural damage or even worse, toxic mold in your home. You don't want any part of that. That's why if you're worried about any groundwater in your crawl space, you call Crawl Pros and you get a free corner-to-corner inspection. They'll climb into that crawl space, see what the condition is. They will go where you don't want to, definitely where I didn't want to. They came to my house and handled all this stuff. If they find water, they'll install a groundwater drainage system and a sump pump and reroute that water outside your home's footprint where it belongs. Don't take the risk. Do what I did. Have Crawl Pros come out for that free corner-to-corner inspection. They'll even check your attic at the same time. If you're worried that anything is going on with your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
And good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. It is payback time for U.S. importers after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down President Trump's tariffs back in February. Businesses can now ask to be refunded through an online portal. More from CBS's Megan Cirillo.
The government could owe businesses up to $175 billion in refunds of the tariffs, and that includes interest on those payments.
Customs and Border Patrol says it'll take 60 to 90 days to issue refunds on approved claims. After a week of gas prices dropping, they are starting to tick back up again. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan says major uncertainty over oil tankers getting through the Strait of Hormuz is driving prices back up.
Continue to monitor what happens in the Middle East between the U.S. and Iran. So far, though, motorists may need to buckle up and prepare to pay a little bit more in the week ahead as we continue to see a lot of twists and turns in the road of U.S.-Iran relations.
Peace talks are set to happen again tomorrow. The ceasefire deal between the U.S. and Iran is also set to expire on Wednesday. Public records now reveal Washington's Senate Majority Leader asked for advice on how to get the state Supreme Court to overrule its ban on income taxes. Center Square obtained these records. They show the Attorney General's office advised Senator Jamie Peterson against calling that so-called millionaire's tax an excise tax, saying it would seem disingenuous. We have reached out to both Senator Peterson and A.G. Brown for comments. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson says the city may consider a moratorium on new data centers.
According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, about 30 data centers already operate in Seattle. Now, City Light has proposals for 4 more. Wilson says none are approved and warns that the added power demand could drive up rates. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
A setback and a big mistake for Kent-based Blue Origin. KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker reports their rocket put a company's satellite into the wrong orbit.
It will be deorbited and it will be a loss. The satellite, designed to bring cell service anywhere in the world, Blue Origin shared no additional information about what caused that error.
And that takes us to 4:33. We have Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
And this one brought to us by Seattle Sports. No surprises out there. I tell you what, many of our major roadways are lighter than usual. Not the case in Seattle, though. North 5, scattered backup starting before the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. Right around a half hour to get through all this. Northbound 99, a good option for you. It is wide open through downtown in both directions. South 5, you're going to slow from the U District to I-90, a 20-minute trip from Linwood to Seattle. Our lake bridges are wide open. Westbound 520, you will hit the brakes at the Arboretum. From there, it's bumper to bumper over to I-5. South 405 is all clear again until you get into Bellevue, and then at 520, it starts to clog up, and that doesn't let up until you're almost into the Renton S-curve. So Bellevue to Renton, at 25 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, 25 minutes, and it is all clear. Renton to Puyallup is down to a half hour. Tacoma to Olympia, 45 minutes. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast for tonight looks good. We have some mix of clouds and sunshine, but pleasant temperatures, low 70s across the map. Scattered showers return tomorrow. Right now, 73 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They show up, they ask hard questions, they get you answers. When your story is seen, change isn't just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights 5 to 6:30 p.m. and at KIRO7.com/investigates.
Wow, well said, well read.
Thank you.
Sense the excitement and the joy in your voice.
Yeah, anytime you get to speak on the old radio, it's always fun.
Unlike Joe, drones through it like he's reading an eye chart. All righty. Bucky's Auto Service Centers. You know, they've been around for, well, who's counting? I think it's more than 50 years, but 50 years now. 16 locations. Take the car to Bucky's Auto Service Centers. Everybody in on that. Okay. Let's start with this one. This is to me, this is one of the saddest stories I've come across today. It's a thing called fan social. And you just think to yourself, like, how desperate do these people have to be to get on fan social and then have dinner or drinks with a total stranger? So what's the thing you can do? Just hire the celebrity and go,
Cameo.
Yeah, Cameo. That seems sort of sad. It's like $100 to Brooks Robinson or something. If he's, oh, hey there, Steve, happy birthday to you. It's Brooks Robinson. I'm like, well, look how old he looks, right? But apparently, if you're somewhat famous, they can make a lot of money in these things. One guy, I forget who it was, said, oh, I just sit there all day. I make like $200 every minute. And he was making like $50-some thousand a month. Just, oh, happy birthday to you and, happy anniversary or whatever. Now that takes one step even further. This is you get to have dinner with them. So you could sit there. I don't know any of these people. Do you know any of these people?
I looked through the fans. I was looking and I was like, I think Tom Arnold might have been one of the few names that I actually recognize. I was like,
Susan Powter, P-O-W-T-E. Remember her? Anybody? Anyone? Tom Arnold. Oh my God! You can have dinner with Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator.
What kind of pizza do we have tonight? Who's this? I'll get to that in a minute. Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you? You tell me first.
Oh, this is always awkward. I love when Chris Hansen reads the really horrible text messages or emails back and forth.
You're Jeff, right? Yeah. And what are you doing here tonight, Jeff? Hanging out. Hanging out with whom? With her. Who's her?
Oh, she's the girl who's the fake one who's in the other room saying, I'll be right out. Help yourself to some sweet tea.
Some pizza, this one.
I want to know who you are. I want to know a little bit more about you first.
Ooh, Chris Hansen. Is this an example of what the social date is going to be like? I'm sorry. I got confused at what I was going to say. Chris, the guy paid you $1,000. He's here to have dinner with you. He's like, oh, I thought he was here as a pedophile.
Eat first? Sure, go ahead.
He's so relaxed and convinced of his innocence, he eats a slice of pizza.
Oh, he eats a slice of pizza. Yeah.
I looked, in case you want to hang out with Chris Hansen.
No, I want to go back to more Chris Hansen.
It's a $1,000 for coffee or a drink for an hour. A lunch for an hour and a half will cost you $2,000. A 2-hour dinner, $3,500. Or hey, if you want to have him come to a speaking engagement, $20,000.
Yeah, though no one's hiring him for that. But like sitting having go to dinner with him for how much? $2,000?
Dinner is for 2 hours is $3,500. So you got the dinner on top of $3,500 for Chris Hansen. Like, let me learn about you.
I'm really nervous.
Why? Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'm really nervous.
Why?
I've never done this. Have you?
No.
Here comes Chris Hansen.
So what do you want to do?
A hug?
I don't know.
Okay, Chris comes around. Here's where Chris comes jumping out of the pantry.
Hey, Lou. Hey. a seat right around that stool right there in front, please. No, right there. Please have a seat.
Is that Chris Hansen? Doesn't
Yeah,
sound
that's
like
that. Yeah,
set the phone down, please.
Isn't that his big thing? Please have a seat. He always like brings them in. He's like, please have a seat. Why don't you just have
What
a
is
seat?
your plan here tonight? Just hang out, watch football?
Oh, God, yeah. Then the person runs out the door. I cannot think of a more awkward time. Unless you're sitting down with these guys. There's a, what's his name from, who's the billionaire from Omaha? I can't remember anybody's name right now. Come on.
Billionaire from Omaha.
Berkshire Hathaway. I can't think of his name. Anyway, Warren Buffett. People have there's a Warren Buffett auction that takes place every single year, and people will pay like $1 million or $2 or $3 million to sit down with Warren Buffett. Well, the reason they do that is it's an investment in the capital investment. You just sit down with Warren Buffett and you say, I've got this idea. What do you think about it? Will it work? Do you know anybody? You're basically working the angles on Warren Buffett to get him to go, well, I know somebody that might be interested in that, or that. Actually, I do this or do that, and you might make some money on this. You get advice from the sage himself. But in this case, unless you're like trying to get into the like how to beat pedophile raps or something,
Win an
Emmy, or the other people that are Tom Arnold sit there.
There's like a basketball guy, I think, somewhere from like way back in the day. I was because usually you Cameo, there's like a lot of names that are like kind of.
Oh yeah, I recognize that guy, but not on any of these ones.
It was like a Fox News host, I think, was maybe, or a reporter was on there. I think was one of them. Because I had never heard of this specific.
This is brand new.
Yeah, and I can tell by the people that they have there. But it's interesting you say that Warren Buffett one. There was always a thing on the internet of, would you rather have dinner with Jay-Z or $1 million? And everyone's like, well, I'll just take $1 million. I don't. What's Jay-Z going to tell me that's worth $1 million for whatever I'm doing?
It's another Nick story. Sorry, 2 in a row. The item was at an auction. Fly to Philadelphia, have dinner with Bradley Cooper, then go to a basketball game and sit right down front at a Sixers game with Bradley Cooper. Well, anyway, she bid on it. She didn't win it, thank God. Somebody else won it. But I thought, Bradley Cooper's going to sit there with a total stranger. And they're just going to be like, so what was it like when you were doing American Sniper? Are you any good with guns? Like, the guy is giving up a lot of his just like energy to have to sit across from somebody who's a total stranger who might just be, fangogging him the whole time.
And they've answered every question under the sun, right? Like, can you really?
And here's the other part of it. If they're on here, they're basically not a celebrity anymore, right? It is basically saying, look, I'm as desperate as you are. If you can come up with $2,000.
You want to pay me $2,000 for some lunch? Let's do it. I'm in. Why not?
It's so sad. And then the last story is the fact that AI is really now fully taken over in the movie business. A movie that used to take like $300 million is now down to like $50 million to produce it. They're looking at the sets and they're saying they're nothing more than a gigantic blank wall. And there's lighting in there, but it's all AI. Everything's all done AI. And this is going to be the beginning of the end as everybody's enjoying AI movies. People are upset about it. And I thought about the fact that I was watching a clip the other day from a famous movie called The French Connection. And AI is all about fake. When The French Connection had to shoot the famous, I think it won an award, and I know it won awards for Best Movie, but the scene of Gene Hackman driving a car 60 miles an hour through did you watch the scene?
Yeah, I watched the scene, yeah.
Through the streets of New York. And by the way, they didn't tell anybody in the city of New York that they were going to do this. They did not get permission. They did not close the street down. They're like, we're just going to drive the car 60 miles an hour down the road, and none of the photographers would get in the car. Only the director goes, I'll sit in the car, because they thought they would die, which they...
Please, emergency, I need your car. When am I going to get back?
And with that, the stunt driver's driving the thing. If you watch it, there is actually an accident that looks really real in the movie because it was. There was some poor guy making a right-hand turn, pulling out onto the street there in order to go to work, and the stunt driver of the French Connection rams the car into it, spins the car around, and keeps right on going.
And the car's all banged up in the shot.
And the guy's
he's crashing all over the place. There's people ducking out on the walkway.
There were people, no stunts, just people like, whoa, look out.
Look out.
Look out, there goes Gene Hackman. Hey, I'm in the movie. Here comes Nate checking traffic, Nathan.
All right, North 5, scattered backup through Seattle, approaching the West Seattle Bridge of the Ship Canal. Going to take you a half hour to travel through downtown. South 5 looking pretty good. It does slow in the U District down to I-90. Linwood to Seattle back up to 25 minutes. South 405 is heavy at Mid-Bellevue through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton's a 25-minute commute. Got another brief backup in South Center as you get closer to I-5. North 405 slows through the Renton S-curves. Federal Way to Tacoma, 20 minutes. It is a little crowded from State Route 18 all the way down to 16. And Tacoma to Olympia has improved big time down to 35 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Congress.
Thank you, Nate. I know what it's like. You watch the hair begin to thin, then that crown disappears. That hair loss just starts to kind of rob you of your identity. That is how I felt before I visited Advanced Hair, because Advanced Hair has got this simple one-day treatment, and they regrew my own natural hair. They do the exact same thing for you. So if you've noticed that the hair is going away, I got news for you. It's not coming back anytime soon. In fact, it's never coming back. So you have a bunch of choices. Go bald, shave your head, comb over. I don't think people do that anymore. Collection of hats, whatever it is. If you really thought about it, all you want is your hair back. Just give me my hair back. You got it. Set up a free consultation, $250 off, $250 for your hair graft by calling 425-449-8185. And you don't want to wait, because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. 2 years in a row for Advanced Hair. Check out their before and after pictures. Give them a call, 425-449-8185. That's advancedhair.com.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
There's no beating CM Heating.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still. You're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see. They know. They hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's cars with a K.
So this 47% of Americans say they would like to be able to buy a Chinese EV car. If you search these things online, they are leaps and bounds, years ahead of anything we have here in the U.S., but there's a gigantic tariff on top. You can't get the thing in and allow to bring them in because it's the way the government has of protecting industries here because that's what you do if you're the government and you want to get money from car dealers. You stop the consumer from getting what they want. But aside from that, another reason to get an EV or any kind of car from China is because they just understand that on long car trips, somebody's got to go.
Look very different. According to multiple reports, the Chinese automaker series now has a patent for a toilet that would actually be inside the car. Kate, I already see your face, but what? I will say, I think this is an incredible idea, especially I know you worked in local news as well. I did, and I was stuck out in the field for 15, 20 hours. The biggest challenge, believe it or not, was begging a gas station to let me use their restroom.
I've been there. I've also been on long road trips with little kids.
Yeah.
I get, but I don't want.
Why is everybody so freaked out by this? Would they be more freaked out by my mom handing you back an empty pickle jar?
Yeah, like a bottle. Clean up after
and
that.
You do have to empty it out. It does have a heating feature.
Oh, you do? Oh, I thought you just keep filling it.
Yeah.
Heating that
feature,
dries
though.
up waste.
Wait,
Okay.
They're embracing that.
I don't want to have to clean up after
and
that.
you do have to empty it out. It does have a heating feature that dries up waste.
Okay.
You do not like. We will get you one, Kate. If it ever comes to be here in the U.S., we will not get you one of these.
All right, Emily. Wow, that's a talker, Emily Lorge.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what the cost on some of these EVs. They're like $50,000, but you should look it up online and see the stuff. Have you looked inside? Have you seen these EV cars and what they're able to do?
I was seeing actually in this report with coming from China, there's karaoke machines, refrigerators. It's like Pimp My Ride.
Everything you would need to be completely distracted from driving is available to you in this car. And the back seat, and they fold down and then fold this way, and then they've got different temperature and different smells you could have in the car. It might be the toilet heating up the
drying out
stuff you've left behind. But I know the Biden administration put 100% tax tariff on it, and then they have other ways. They just don't want them coming into the country. And then, because the batteries aren't safe for this. Yeah, right. No, because they know that this thing would just, any kind of car, especially Tesla or anybody else in the market. I think Ford is pretty much out of the EV market, and so is GM. But they realized that this thing would just dominate. And because it's also made so cheaply, that's the other part of it. Are you having slave labor? Are you having these things made by people that don't want to be in there making these things? That's also part of the general unfairness of international trade. And, of course, you can have somebody that you had some 8-year-old building an iPhone. Well, as long as they get an iPhone out of the whole deal. But since everybody's getting paid a different rate, That's why you can have somebody build one of these cars for $40,000. Plus, the government is also subsidizing it, much as they did the EV sales in the United States. But tired of waiting for EV to charge? Now, Chinese have another one that I wish they'd stop sending us these, that shows you that it charges that much sooner. Or you could do it. One guy did. He got an EV, then he got 3 gigantic fans on top of the car. Have you seen this? He took 3 huge fans, put them on the roof of the car. So while he's driving, what's happening?
The fans are
generating power with the fans.
He's recharging his car.
There you go.
Of course, he can only go about 50 miles an hour because the fans are blocking everything. But he has figured out, I know, I'm a nerd dude. I'll put the fans on top. It'll spin around, recharge. So as I'm driving, I never have to or hardly ever have to stop or pull over.
Well, there you go. Now
he's out there just driving forever, wetting his pants because he doesn't have a toilet in the seat. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nate,
All right, this one's brought to us by Seattle Sports. We've got bad news if you're hopping on the train today. Seattle Transit's 1 and 2 lines are running 35 to 40 minutes behind schedule due to mechanical issues, and the one line is single tracking between UW and Roosevelt stations. On the main line, North 5 through Seattle, it's a 35-minute drive now. Scattered backups before the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. In West Seattle, westbound on the West Seattle Bridge, looks like we still have a blocking problem at the top of the bridge just as you turn around the corner onto Fauntleroy. Our vehicles from our earlier collision have cleared, so not sure what's still causing this backup. South 405, you're heavy from Mid-Bellevue through Victoria. Bellevue to Renton, a 25-minute commute. Seattle to Federal Way, also 25 minutes, and you're pretty much all clear until you get it down about State Route 18. Tacoma to Olympia has improved. We're down to just a 35-minute commute. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This is James Lynch. I've covered crime for more than 40 years all across the country. Now I'm turning my focus to some of the toughest cold cases right here in Western Washington.
It was very dark, very foggy.
Wednesday on Seattle's Morning News, a late-night hit and run.
Nobody stopped for him.
A $50,000 reward and still no answers for a desperate family.
It is really hard not knowing what happened to our dear son.
The Cold Case Project, Wednesday mornings at 7:45 on Seattle's Morning News.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hey, Dad, have you heard the news from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services?
No, I haven't.
Eggs have climbed higher than ever on the new food pyramid. And that's great news for anyone who loves starting the day strong.
Well, at Wilcox Family Farms, we make it easy with our ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs. They're delicious, protein-packed snack you can grab on the go. Now ranked higher than ever.
Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Thanks, Brandy. Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster, at a higher price, and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Looking for lumber with a story? Then you've got to check out the new Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse in Soto. Be the first to get your hands on reclaimed lumber with original character and local history. Their warehouse is packed with new inventory now, but when this wood is gone, it's gone. So act fast. Come visit the Salvage Lumber Warehouse for the grand opening on May 2nd from 11 to 3 in Soto. And remember, this lumber is harvested from structures, not forests. Find them at ewsalvage.com. D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on right now through May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Wendy Gillette. A second round of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran is in jeopardy amid tensions over the Strait of Hormuz. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe from the White House.
The longer the strait remains blockaded, the longer there's no agreement between these two countries, the global economy is really going to begin to suffer. There's been some smart reporting today, especially now about how this is really causing acute pain in Asia, which will inevitably spread to the rest of the world. Not seen here necessarily just yet, but very well could be in the coming weeks, which will create even bigger political problems for this president should this war continue.
Oil shipping in the Strait of Hormuz is not the only concern. Pharmaceuticals in the U.S. could also be affected, including antibiotics. CBS News medical correspondent Celine Gounder.
Drugs that need to be kept cold are even more exposed. So that includes vaccines, insulin, cancer therapies.
A Trump administration official is resigning. CBS's Olivia Rinaldi has more.
The White House confirmed this just a short while ago that the Labor Secretary Lori Chavez de Remer will be leaving the administration, going to the private sector. This is extremely notable because, just to put this in context, taking a step back, this is now the third administration official who has left in the last month or so.
A tourist was killed at a famed archaeological site in Mexico.
Mexican authorities say a gunman opened fire at the popular tourist destination, Teotihuacan. A Canadian woman was killed and 4 others injured before the shooter killed himself. Mexico's president said federal and state security forces were being deployed to the site, and her administration was in touch with Canadian authorities.
CBS's Cammie McCormick reporting. Singer David, whose legal name is David Burke, has been charged with murder after 14-year-old Celeste Rivas was found dismembered in his car last year. Gwen Baumgardner reports from Los Angeles.
Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman laid out the timeline of the case against Burke.
On April 23, 2025, as been alleged by the complaint, Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time, went to Mr. Burke's house in the Hollywood Hills. She was never heard from again.
Last September, authorities say the girl's dismembered and decomposed remains were found in 2 bags inside the front trunk of a Tesla.
A federal jury in North Carolina has decided Uber should pay $5,000 to a woman who claims a driver sexually assaulted her. Earlier this year, another jury in Arizona awarded $8.5 million to a woman who claims an Uber driver raped her. On Wall Street, stocks lost ground. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
A 14-time felon arrested again. The Thurston County Sheriff reacts. That's one story we get to after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, your Seattle Mariners has this update. Sound Transit's 1 and 2 lines are running 35 to 40 minutes behind schedule right now due to mechanical issues, and the one line is single tracking between UW and Roosevelt Station, so passengers need to board on the Federal Way platform here. This does not bode well for Mariners fans headed to that 6:40 game. North 5 through Seattle is pretty solid now, approaching the West Seattle Bridge all the way across the Ship Canal. 35-minute drive through downtown Seattle. Further north through Mount Lake Terrace, North 5 at 220th. A stall blocks the center lane. You're backed up to 175th. Seattle to Linwood has climbed a bit, up to 35 minutes. If you head to the west into West Seattle, westbound on the West Seattle Bridge, we have a blocking problem at the very top of the bridge, just around that turn on the Fauntleroy. South 5, you're going to slow at the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90. South 405 heavy from Mid-Bellevue through Factoria. It's a 25-minute trip from Bellevue to Renton. This report brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. Randy Johnson number retirement ceremony night presented by T-Mobile is Saturday, May 2nd. Get your tickets at mariners.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. Tensions are building between the owners and supporters of 5 downtown Bothell massage parlors and Bothell police. This after those businesses were shut down last Friday.
One of the owners say they run legitimate businesses and claim Bothell police are harassing them because they are Asian-owned. Although the businesses were shut down because of unsafe conditions, Bothell Police Captain Mike Johnson says the investigation is ongoing and the evidence is solid.
We had complaints, we had information, judge signed the search warrants, and we found evidence that this is not a legitimately running massage business. This is a sex operation.
Captain Johnson says more charges are possible. In Bothell, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thurston County Sheriff says the state is failing in its handling of violent repeat offenders. Sheriff Derek Sanders' comments follow a high-speed chase last night involving a 14-time convicted felon wanted for assault.
How we are dealing with the 1% of people that I just described, the 15, 30, 40-time convicted felons, people being arrested for their 99th time, how we are managing that as a state is a failure.
The suspect's bail was set at $15,000. Sanders telling KIRO Radio's Gian Ursula the state's bail system is deeply flawed. 2 cyclists are in critical condition tonight after a crash on Aurora Avenue in Seattle overnight. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
3 people traveling together on Lime bikes. One turned left on a sidewalk, 2 others on the same bike. Detective Brian Pritchard with SPD tells us continued across Aurora, not knowing about a Jersey barrier trapping them on 99 with a pickup truck headed right toward them.
It was an accident. They were unfamiliar with the area. They, instead of taking a left here onto this sidewalk, they crossed over into this busy highway here.
The 30-year-old woman and 28-year-old man were last listed in critical condition at Harborview Medical Center. In Seattle, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
With the 32nd pick in the NFL draft, the Seahawks may not pick at all. General Manager John Schneider says it's possible they'll look to trade their first-round selection.
It's no secret with us, guys. We have 4 picks, so we'll be looking to move back.
That's 4 picks over 7 rounds for now. Round 1 of the draft kicks off on Thursday. We'll have special coverage on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. Now to your forecast. We are looking at a lovely evening. Some clouds, but plenty of sun breaks as well, and temperatures in the low to mid-70s. Right now, 72 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Here we go, the John Curley Show. Thanks a lot, Muggle's Casino Resort text line. Couldn't do it without you. Teeny Tiny's going to find the letter of the day. Could be Paul from Sammamish, probably, but we need to get into that. 1-888-973-5476. Dive it in the news. There we go. All right. Where's Walsh? Where's his walk-on music? Nope. Here you go. Hold on, Walsh. You're not here. Ooh, look at you. You look good. Hang on.
From the fighting 19th
Walsh won't let Washington fall.
All right, Walsh, a good public servant who sent me a text message on a Saturday. I'm like, wow, look at Walsh working overtime here. The last thing was that the ballots, how many ballots altogether were found that were not, they were unopened, they were dumped in a dumpster? Was it 500 or something? More than that, right, Jim?
A little bit less. Here's one. About a little bit under 400. Yeah, they were in a box.
Yep.
On the ground next to a dumpster in Renton behind a strip mall. So not exactly secure ballot management.
Was there a sign on the dumpster that said, place all Republican votes here? Was there anything like that? Or did it make,
well,
can
it
you make
was
it a little
Renton,
clear?
after all. It's a tough market, tough crowd.
It's tough. By the way, we like to refer to it as South Bellevue.
very, very far south Bellevue.
Yes, okay.
That's what the realtors say. Eh?
So what happened? I mean, this seems to be concerning. And then who'd you write to? Because I know we've had this story on before. I think you wrote to Steve Hobbs, right? And who else?
Yeah, well, they all come jumping out of the woodwork. Hobbs and the King County Elections Office. Our first contact was with the feds. We wanted the U.S. Postal Service inspectors involved, and they work a lot with the FBI. That was kind of the route we wanted to go. And it turns out, I think, that the postal inspectors are going to be the ones who are really going to take charge on this. Also spoke with the Renton PD, the Renton Police Department. The state Secretary of State is trying to make some hay out of this, and the county prosecutor's office in King County is too. But the truth is, what these ballots are evidence of, what they prove, is not so much that fraud took place. I mean, that's hard to prove, but they prove the broken chain of custody with ballots in this state is a problem. The broken chain of custody where nobody's really in charge. A lot of hands touch a ballot between the county election office and the voter, and we're not really sure what happens. Now, a lot of these ballots were sent to people at a non-U.S. Postal Service mailbox center, one of these kind of storefronts. Amazon runs them, UPS store runs them, a lot of groups run them.
Yeah.
This one was none of those, but like that. And so who's touching them? Who's got their fingers on these ballots? Who's in charge of the ballots? And because the way our system is set up, the custody is broken. There is no clear tracking of who's touching a ballot. Stuff like this can happen. It's got to stop.
Jim, the argument that you have been making, do you want to go to in-person voting?
Well, I'd like to see a return to more of that as an option. I think the state has gotten accustomed to mail-in voting. So, I mean, the realistic long run is probably some kind of hybrid where we have a combination of in-person voting and mail-in voting. But for the immediate, we need to do a better job of securing ballots, of making sure that a ballot doesn't go into the black hole and we hope it comes out at the right location. We've got to do a better job at tracking these ballots, just the way you can track something you order from Amazon or something you order coming to you by FedEx or something. We need to track ballots more carefully. And this broken chain of custody, I mean, it's not fraud, but it's an occasion for fraud. If a bad actor gets involved, they might be able to manipulate something. Doesn't look like that happened in this case, but it might have.
What kind of response did you want from Secretary of State Steve Hobbs?
Well, something other than a reflexive, defensive attempt at snark. Hobbs spends a lot of times playing video games, and I think he gets kind of a gamer's attitude, and he wants to talk smack about things. This is not smack talk. The secretary needs to take this seriously. The fact that this happened is an indictment. It's a proof of problems with the broken chain of custody with our ballots in this mail-in system.
Okay, so
we have to do better.
How do you remedy it? What do you do? How do you fix it?
A bunch of people have suggested, some people who talk about how in the military they deal with classified documents where when they're in transit, everyone who touches the package signs off on it and they track it. I think we need something like that with ballots, or like I said, more easily, the same way you can track a UPS shipment or a FedEx shipment every step of the way to your door. We need like that for ballots in this state. And I don't want to hear a bunch of whining about how that might cost some money. This is important.
Yeah.
Because when we have a broken chain of custody and a box of ballots ends up next to a dumpster in Renton, that is diluting the power of each legitimate vote. And that's against the law. That's against the Constitution. You can't dilute the power of each legitimate vote. And throwing these things around sloppily into dumpsters is bad practice.
Yeah, it's also remarkable that you had ballots there from 2022. So this box of ballots sitting in a dumpster or whatever have been sitting there since 2021, just sitting in the dumpster. Nobody ever bothered to empty the dumpster.
Well, they probably weren't in the dumpster. They're in too good a shape for that. They probably were in a storeroom or an office or something somewhere. They're clean. They're not weather beaten. Okay. A couple of them were weather beaten, but for the most part, they're clean. They were indoors somewhere. Somebody put them in a back room or in a storage room or something and just didn't pay attention to them. And most likely they were never delivered to the voter. Some of the voters we checked, some of the voters did vote in the respective elections, but they probably requested a replacement ballot, which you can do legally. That's fine.
Yeah.
When they didn't get their ballot.
Is there any way with the names that are on the ballot to sort of get some idea, were they all sort of kind of from people who sort of kind of don't vote the way the majority votes?
It looked, this stuff is all estimate because we don't register by party in this state, of course. But there are these modeled, observed measures of how voters vote. And on that basis, it was about an even split from what we can gather. For that area, that's unusual. That's an area that leans blue. So it looks like the mix was a little heavier with red than standard for that area. But there's so many variables here. It's hard to draw a conclusion.
The other thing it does, Jim Walsh, is that it creates the impression in the voter's mind, why bother? I mean, you already have that sort of fatigue anyway, especially for Republicans. Why should I? That doesn't matter. The King County is going to dominate. I live over in Eastern Washington. But, my ballot, my vote doesn't matter, right? But then this sort of story also says, look at this. They're going to end up some dumpster, or who cares? I'm not even going to buy it. Then you disenfranchise yourself even more from the political process.
And that's, John, you and I've talked about that one before. I think the way you encourage people to vote is show them you give a damn about it, that you're watching and you're trying to improve this system. We've got people here, and it's not all Republicans. There are people, it's a bipartisan, a little bit of bipartisan, who know that the system needs to be made more secure. And the tracking the ballots to the voter is part of it. Cleaning up the voter rolls is part of it. There are a couple of steps we can take. And I want to emphasize, this doesn't mean we get rid of vote by mail. But we need to strengthen vote by mail. If we make it sloppy and nobody's minding the process, then it does get more untrustworthy. Yeah. I want to make it trustworthy because I want to show people who question whether their vote counts that we are watching and we are being whistleblowers. When there's a problem, we're calling attention to the problem, not like the current Secretary of State who's trying to be snarky, like, some anonymous gamer, talking garbage to somebody else. Mr. Secretary of State Hobbs, cut the rhetoric. We found a problem in your system. Help us fix the problem. Stop trying to insult me. You can't do that. I got a thick skin. Acknowledge this is a symptom of a problem and help us fix it.
Well, it's not a problem if you are a Democrat.
Well, it should be.
Oh, I see.
For goodness sakes.
Well, I'm going to give you, we'll do a little T-ball here on Ferguson. So I'm going to play a cut. This is from, I think, 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago anyway. 10 months ago? I don't know when he signed this thing. That'd be, 10 months ago. So Ferguson pledges.
My plan is clear. Put $100 million into my first budget so local jurisdictions can use those resources as hiring bonuses for law enforcement officers or for increased salaries.
All right, there we go. $100,000 or $100 million is going to go. $100 million because, like he said, my campaign promise, I want to be able to fund these cities, these towns, so that they can have police. $100 million. And it looks like total amount of people that have taken advantage of. Why?
It's a sham. It's another pie crust promise. And, that's a great clip, John. He always sounds like a guy who's been, taken hostage, and he's reading his hostage demands. Like the kidnappers are making him read the hostage.
Well, here's more of that. Maybe he's blinking code. I don't know.
That idea was a cornerstone of my campaign for governor. Any budget I sign must include this funding.
There we go. And one last one.
In my inaugural address, I made a promise that this legislative session, we must provide significant funding to hire more law enforcement officers in our state. I'm so pleased to have House Bill 2015 before me now to help address this situation.
Yeah, but when you read the fine print on it, Jim, whoever wants to apply for it, they get some of the money, but then they got to send the cops to a whole bunch of deep programming or programming indoctrination stuff. Then they
modernized training.
Yes, and then they also have to be able to pass a sales tax.
A local sales tax.
Right. Yes. And then once the money dries up rather rapidly, then they have to then pay for that police officer that they've hired.
Yeah, it was a scam. It was basically a 3-card money deal. I don't know if the governor knew that or not. I don't know what's worse, if he knew it was a rook or if he didn't know it was a rook. But it was always a bad bill. It was a silly thing. And, he likes to use the term bend the knee. He's not going to bend the knee. Uh-huh. Well, the bill made every police department bend the knee toward him. It was bad from the start. A lot of the cops in my district, they knew it was a rook from the beginning. And they're like, look, we'll find some money somewhere to keep our staff numbers up. But this $100 million is blarney. And they were right. It's just not serious. And the governor needs to be careful with this stuff. You break too many promises, Bob, and people get really angry at you. And he needs to be careful how many promises he's breaking here.
Well, so the $100 million, I guess it just sits there if nobody touches it. But Ferguson also vetoed $500,000 that was supposed to go to a fund program helping police track down professional shoplifters and shoplifting ring. So that didn't get any funding.
Yeah, and that one angered. That's another one where he's angering kind of his own crew there. There were a couple of prominent Democrat legislators who had championed that program for focusing on this. They call it organized retail crime or organized retail theft, and it's just what it says it is. It's coordinated, kind of professionally done sweeps that go into a store and kind of create diversion and then steal high-value retail items. And it's a problem here in Washington. Talk to any cop, talk to any local prosecutor. And the idea that we had this relatively small amount of money, $500,000, that was going to be focused on breaking up some of these organized retail theft rings, and he vetoed it? I mean, come on, man. It was a small amount of money that would go to address a really acute need in crime fighting, and you vetoed it? That sends a soft on crime message. And again, the governor is already vulnerable and soft on crime stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, he's helping courts get rid of bail. You heard the sheriff in Thurston County there in your news break. This idea that we're not charging bail to criminal defendants is kind of screwy, and he's letting that happen. And I mean, when you lose some of your own legislators, the sheriff there is not a right-wing guy at all. You start losing people who are voting for you, Mr. Governor, and you're going to be a one-term governor here.
The governor says that he's defending it because it's a $2.3 billion state budget shortfall, claiming that the money needs to be redirected to core social services. I would assume that protecting the property of individuals would be a core service that the government should offer.
Well, I mean, especially when we're losing retail all over the place. And, you live in one of the swankier neighborhoods, you can get DoorDash and you can get Amazon to deliver your stuff. But you live in a blue-collar place, you need to have some retail stores open. And right now, all around Western Washington, the current governor and his cronies are striking down on retail operations. They're making it harder and less profitable to own a retail business in Washington.
Yeah.
And we're losing stores all over the place. And the idea that, on one hand, he's kind of crying about how we don't have enough retail grocery stores everywhere. And on the other hand, he's not helping fight the crime that's bankrupting some of these retail storefronts. It's hypocritical, and he certainly wasn't going to fix his multi-billion-dollar budget shortfall by whacking $500,000 out of law enforcement. But he's trying to send a message, and frankly, it's the wrong message. He's alienating his own side by cutting this money.
What happened? Just in the final 20 seconds, Ferguson, before, when he was running and the Seattle Times did a big piece on him, I was like, wow, I'll give him a chance because he really sort of sounds like a level-headed guy looking at the metrics and everything. What happened to him, Jim?
He reverted to form. He's very left-wing. And some of us, you may remember, John, we're warning our neighbors, don't fall for this. The guy reading the hostage demand letter into the camera and not blinking is a left-wing. He's not even really a thought leader, He's sort of a follower, but he follows left-wing politicians like Mandami, even like our own Wilson, I think he thinks he's like Shapiro, the governor over there in Pennsylvania.
Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania,
yeah. Yeah, he's a left-wing guy, but he's kind of a guy people like, and, he's always in the mix for, national office discussion.
Oh.
I think that's who Ferguson's trying to model himself on. And he's not Josh Shapiro.
President Bob Ferguson, 2028?
Well, I'm sure there's a Kiwanis club somewhere that needs a president.
There's your punch-out, Walsh. All right, man. Keep up the fight. Keep going. Don't let them hurt your feelings with your big, thick skin. Thanks, Jimmy. There he goes. All right, see it. There goes Nate checking traffic. Nate on.
This one brought to us by the KIRO Newsradio App. If you're headed into Seattle for the Mariners game, this is what's in your way. First of all, Sound Transit's 1 and 2 lines are running about 35 minutes behind schedule due to earlier mechanical issues. I'm not sure if they've fixed them yet. The 1 line is still single tracking between UW and now Capitol Hill stations. You'll need to board on the Federal Way platform on these single tracks. North 5 into Seattle, backups before the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. Plan on a half hour to clear this. South 5 will stop and go between 520 and I-90. Not bad. Linwood to Seattle is 20 minutes, and that includes another backup through Linwood. State Route 99, we're clear through downtown, both directions. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, right around 20 minutes on both bridge routes. In Mount Lake Terrace, we cleared that earlier stall, North 5 at 220th. And at Federal Way, we have a new crash, North 5 just before 18. It's blocking your left lane. Text app to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Everybody's got a guy. Oh, I'm having problems with the transmission. Oh, I got a guy. I know a guy. Oh, I'm having problems with this or this or that. I need a new pair of shoes. Oh, I got a guy. Everybody's got a guy. So now I got a guy. You ready? If you've got a bad shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, if you ever say to me, I got this arthritis in my knee, got a bone on bone, I got a guy. I got a guy for you. And then I'll tell you, you have to go see Dr. Mark Wagner. That's my guy. He's done more than 20,000 stem cell procedures. It's a 90-minute outpatient procedure. And if you have been thinking about going to see a doctor, that might be your guy, who's going to do surgery on you, and you ask the doctor, well, what's the chances of me getting full movement of my shoulder again or elbow or ankle or whatever? And he's like, well, 30% could bring you back. And you say, whoa, hold on. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Just take an X-ray or an MRI, send it over to the office, sit down and talk to Dr. Mark Wagner. Because if a stem cell procedure is right for you, this is a game changer, a miracle. I love it. He fixed my hip. I feel great. My guy should be your guy. If you got a bad shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee before surgery, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left? I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped. Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. Tensions are escalating tonight between Iran and the United States after the U.S. military seized an Iranian cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, peace talks are still scheduled to take place tomorrow in Pakistan. CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports Vice President J.D. Vance is leading the U.S. delegation.
Still expected to go to Pakistan either later tonight or at some point tomorrow morning, and the Iranians are still expected to send some kind of a delegation as well. What they'll discuss, for how long, with whom, all of that still not yet known.
Washington's newly passed income tax on millionaires is facing new scrutiny. KIRO Newsradio's Frank Lindsay explains.
Public records obtained by the Center Square show state lawmakers and the Attorney General's office coordinated on the tax proposal, partly to challenge a long-standing income tax ban. The so-called millionaire's tax is now being challenged in court.
And we have reached out to Senator Jamie Peterson. He's the prime sponsor on the bill, as well as State Attorney General Nick Brown. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson says she is floating a possible moratorium on new data centers in the city. The move comes after Seattle City Light says it received proposals for 4 massive data centers. Wilson says no new centers have been approved. She points to concerns over higher electric bills for ratepayers. Meta may be looking to slash 10% of its global workforce. Reuters reports that's about 8,000 employees. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun says the cuts are scheduled to take effect on May 20th.
We told you about the local Meta layoffs back in March. That's when the tech giant said 168 workers will be laid off starting on May 8th. Those workers in the Seattle, Bellevue, and Redmond areas, along with remote positions in Washington.
Mission failure for Kent-based Blue Origin after the company launched the customer satellite into the wrong orbit. The payload, built by AST Space Mobile, is now too low to recover. That company's CEO says it's a total loss. FAA has now grounded Blue Origin's New Glenn rockets after it successfully landed its reusable booster. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 5:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Global Credit Union has our update. Let's start you with trouble on the trains. Sound Transit's 1 and 2 lines are running up to 40 minutes behind schedule due to mechanical issues. Now, the 1 line is single tracking between UW and Capitol Hill. You'll need to board on the Federal Way platform on those single tracks. North 5 hitting the Seattle is thick approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal Bridge. It's about a half hour to clear this. South 5, not too bad. Stop and go from 520 to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, just a 20-minute drive, and that includes another backup to get through up there in Linwood. Seattle to Everett, just 35 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, also 35 minutes. Now, I-5, you're slow through Shoreline. After State Route 104, you'll start to clear out. 405 is just scattered slowing between 520 and 527. And we're still dealing with this crash in Federal Way, North 5, just before State Route 18. It's now blocking 2 left lanes, including the HOV lane. You're bumper to bumper to the Fife Curve, Tacoma to Federal Way, close to a 10-minute delay. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast looking good for tonight, but increasing clouds overnight will lead to scattered showers tomorrow and again on Wednesday. Temperatures cooling down into the low 60s. Right now, 72 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All righty. I believe, Teeny, you're going to spin that wheel for us for a second there. They spin that wheel. There, got some names of all the players who are on the wheel going round and round, and we'll find out exactly who wins the great honor of giving us a Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe. Oh, good. Lance, on you, Paul. That would be your Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe.
Okay. Simple one.
You're good because Cliff's waiting.
Boil some water.
Boil water.
Put some Wilcox Family Farm eggs in there. Mm-hmm. Cook until preferred.
Mm.
And enjoy a breakfast of boiled eggs. Hard-boiled eggs.
Wow, that's...
Excellent.
A little salt if you're feeling crazy.
Right. We got it. There it is. It's good. It's going to be in the books. Sent to you on a regular basis. All right, let's get Cliff Mass in here. All right, Mr. Cliff Mass, American professor of... why do I always mess this up? Because I heard somebody else mess it up on the air, and I thought, I don't think I'll ever mess up that word.
Atmospheric.
Why is it so hard? Atmospheric, because I heard you correct them last time they were on there. University of Washington. Cliff Mass, you're on not to talk about weather, but dark clouds when it comes to freedom of speech. There is it's a mail service that you have at University of Washington called Listserv, right? Which allows professors to express ideas to other professors inside one department or through all the professors at University of Washington?
Well, the whole department.
The whole department. Okay.
The whole university.
Okay.
The whole place.
And why did they set this up, Cliff?
Well, this was set up by the American Association of University Professors. Whose main, goal is supposedly to protect faculty freedom of speech and rights and to exchange information among faculty. So they set up this listserv, and it's really the biggest one in the whole campus. Thousands of people are on it, and they control it though. They have absolute control. They they decide who gets to speak and who doesn't.
So there's gatekeepers. So if I put something up, then it goes through, and a group of people, are they appointed by the president or different groups? Who's in there, sort of the gatekeeper as to what can be said and not said?
No, they're not appointed by anyone. Basically, this group, this American Association of University Professors, which is very left-leaning, to put it politely.
Shocking.
And they have a few members of that organization that are the gatekeepers. They control whose messages are allowed through. And there's a tendency that they have to allow only one viewpoint set to be communicated. And, that's the problem.
They could say, because universities have the right to say, and I looked online, universities can legally restrict speech that constitutes true threat, harassment, incitement, or imminent unlawful action. So they could put it through the filter and say, yeah, this seems to be this is intimidation or this is harassment, so therefore we're gonna flag this one.
Well, first, again, this is not a group that's controlled by the university. This is basically a special interest group. This is an association of university professors. And so this is not the president of the university or the provost controlling this. This is a group of, fairly activist folks that control the main listserv that's used by most people on campus. So that's how it's set up.
At all universities that are on Lister, this group, the American Association of University Professors, they look at all of these statements that fly back and forth between professors.
So this is just this campus, okay?
Okay.
So this is the University of Washington chapter of the American Association of University Professors.
Got it.
They control the biggest listserv on campus by far. There's nothing even close. And, the problem is, the people that run this listserv, have a very skewed left viewpoint, and they don't allow people with alternative views to speak, which is contradictory to everything you'd expect at a university.
Yeah, this made the news because one of the professors there had some fairly disparaging things to say and could support it with data and opinion and experience and history, talking about the war in Iran and Americans' involvement in it. And the professor has been now removed from the Middle East Center for, because I guess, according to them, cut and dry violation, expressing ideas. And I read it, and it doesn't sit well, if you are supporting the Iran war and the United States' involvement in it. But this individual, who I assume has every right to express their ideas, put something through, and then the people there, the American Association of University Professors, didn't like it. They flagged it. And was it because of what the professor had put out that the professor ends up getting removed?
No, that's not right.
Okay.
There was a separate listserv.
Oh.
That was controlled by this other group. Okay. This has nothing to do with the American Association of University Professors. Really.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Okay. So that's a whole separate issue.
Okay.
So the issue that's of importance to me and many of the faculty is that we have one main listserv for the University of Washington, and it does not allow people with views that don't agree with a relatively left-leaning viewpoint to ever be communicated. And so that's the problem. That what you're talking about is a whole different issue.
Okay.
Which I don't know if we want to get into right now.
But so the idea of censoring speech like this, it then causes sort of the black market of speech, which is then you go not on this one, but now you're communicating ideas because you don't want anybody to censor you. So now you're going somewhere else, as opposed to having all thoughts, all ideas, and words made public. So then there's a free exchange of ideas, and then somebody can counter it and support their thoughts, but you don't censor this stuff. But they do. And I saw that FIRE, that ranks the Freedom Group, that ranks all universities, of the 257 that they look at every single year, the University of Washington is now ranking 254th. So it's close to the worst for free speech.
Well, it's tied for the worst in all the public universities that they rated. So FIRE is a very good group, and they evaluate, the freedom of speech at major universities. We are at the bottom. University of Washington is at the bottom of the list of public universities, and almost at the bottom of the list for all universities in terms of freedom of speech. So freedom of speech is really under attack at the University of Washington, and it's a tragedy.
Cliff Mass, you're such a rational guy on all this sort of stuff. Is it getting slightly better or getting worse?
Well, that's hard to say. At this AAUP group, it's not any better. They are still not allowing people with alternative views to speak. On the campus as a whole, I would say we're pretty much steady state, and we don't have the big takeovers on campus anymore. The protests that were destroying buildings, that stopped. Mm-hmm. But I think it's too early to tell. Things are really quite bad. I mean, I can't put it any other way. You've got to be if you have viewpoints that are not popular with the people who run the AUP or the people, university administrators, you get into trouble, and that's a problem.
Yeah, well, you have to do some more new think and new speech. It would really help you out there at Atmospheric Sciences at the University of Washington. Cliff Mass, thanks for spending some time with us. Looks like a sunny day wherever you are. Thanks, Cliff. All right. Thank you. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Puyallup RV Show has our update. Sound Transit's 1 and 2 lines are running up to 40 minutes behind schedule this evening due to mechanical issues. The one line is single tracking between UW and Capitol Hill stations. You'll need to board on the Federal Way platform. And now we're getting word that because of the trains are so packed for folks probably going to the game, some of the one line trains are actually turning back to the stadium to relieve some congestion. So if you're trying to get to Linwood, you may have to wait for the next available train up into Linwood. North 5 through Seattle is packed at the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. South 5 stop and go between 520 and 990. Federal Way, we're seeing improvements. North 5 just before 18, our collision now just blocks the HOV lane. This opens up a lane, so this will bring some relief to our bumper-to-bumper backup starting at the Fife Curve. So coming to Federal Way is a 20-minute drive. It's all clear, though, once you get through this. Bellevue to Renton, 20 minutes. And eastbound, too, we've got scattered backups between Monroe and Sultan, about a mile or so bumper-to-bumper backup heading into downtown Monroe, and same story heading into downtown Sultan. The Puyallup RV Show is back April 30th through May 3rd. Check out all the latest new models and from 15 overstock dealers. Kids and parking always free. PuyallupRVShow.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Imagine a magician coming into your house and suddenly going, poof! There's more space over there, and bing over there, and abracadabra, wave a little magic wand, and then all of a sudden, that closet's got a lot more space. And you realize, well, our house is 3,200 square feet. We never realized we could actually store so much stuff. The magician is actually a consultant from Closets by Design, and they know exactly how you can utilize more space. Like, for instance, the garage, where all that stuff is just spilling out everywhere. Imagine an entire wall of cabinets. Or maybe upstairs in the one closet that you got. Maybe it's the one you walk in the front door, and don't open that one because you open all the coats fall out and there's shoes everywhere. You can't find anything. If that were organized, wouldn't it be so much nicer? And especially upstairs in some of the bedrooms, the closets all of a sudden just have more space, and suddenly your house feels just organized. It reduces a whole bunch of stress, and you feel better about the whole thing. So if you'd like some magic at your house, Closets by Design. Customized. Well, not the customized price anyway. 40% off plus 15% off and 18 months, 0% financing on approved credit when paid in full. Closets by Design. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PASS to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Well, there's nothing I hate worse than being cold. And if your house is feeling a bit drafty or the floors of the main level are way too cold on your feet, that's probably because your crawl space and attic don't have enough insulation. It's probably making your furnace work overtime. So now you're spending more money as well. Well, how about a free and easy way to learn if you need better insulation? Just schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic with Crawl Pros. It's exactly what I did. They'll show up to your house. They'll go where you don't want to, certainly where I didn't want to, and they'll tell you if you got any problems with your crawl space, your attic, and especially your insulation. If they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates as well to help you get that work done correctly and affordably. If you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could receive a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost. Make your home more comfortable. Save on your energy bill with Crawl Pros. If you're worried that anything's going on in your crawl space or attic, critters, mold, water, plumbing issues, call Crawl Pros or go to crawlpros.com.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you, Sean. All right, Teeny's worked hard to get the letter of the day, but all the rest, they can see the runners-up, right? Hudson, I believe you have a song for us you'd like to sing? That maybe you want? Yes? Okay. As you can see.
I'm a mailman to be messed with me.
Yes.
I'm a mailman. Everything new. I'm a mailman. Bring the mail to you.
Oh, so close. All right, we'll get the letter of the day. First, take care of all the rest. Paul.
253 says tiny houses are great if they're used properly. They are great for people that have already stabilized and gone through the shelter system. They're also great for people that are working but still experiencing homelessness, and their grade is an employment program. To Andrea's point, they are not for the chronically homeless that are off of the encampment on the side of I-5. Those are the people that burn them down. It's not black or white, though.
Paul in Sammamish, relegated to just the top of the list here. God bless Andrea Suarez for trying to help the people living on the streets of Seattle. Unlike the city of Seattle, who uses the drug addicted and mentally ill to perpetuate and fund the homeless industrial complex. Paul in Sammamish.
Don in Tacoma wanted you to say hi to Mike Rowe for us here. He says, Mike Rowe's a great guy. Say hello for all of us hard workers in Washington.
We wanted to get him on the show, but for some reason I texted him and maybe he's got a new number. Let's see. Seeds and Stems Man. Glenn in SeaTech says, I had a seed pop in the bell of my bottom cuff. Bell of my bottom cuff. All right.
I could tell if it was a bell bottom, then he wrecked
and wrecked his dad's car. Things are much safer now.
We were talking about the cost.
Wait. So one seed, I guess, on fire, flies down, goes into his bell bottom, and sets the cuff of his bell bottom on fire.
I'm assuming that's how, or he was like trying to get it out.
Smoking
while driving.
Really crappy pot while driving his dad's car.
That's called learning the lesson the hard way.
Yes. Okay.
I would say. 206 says those numbers make me feel better that I smoke $800 a month in pot. I thought that was quite high. $800 a month.
What's it? Is $30 get you an ounce?
It depends on where you go. I mean, I saw a sign for a $10 ounce the other day driving around there. It was but $800 that's a lot.
Well, he's listening to the show, so that probably he's in the right spot. Chris Hansen, Aubrey in Gig Harbor says Ernest Timmons from JBLM was busted by Chris Hansen. He died, some think intentionally, while waiting a court martial. Oh, okay, well, thanks for bringing us all down there,
Is Chris Hansen one of the worst? Like, meeting him, we were talking about meeting him, but how many bad meetups has Chris Hansen been a part of where it's just like your life's ruined because Chris Hansen comes around the corner?
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you were to just like send somebody to go see Chris Hansen, like if you paid for it, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
You pay for it, and then you have your friend go to the restaurant, and Chris Hansen walks in. Hi, what are you doing here?
Why don't you take a seat?
Have a seat. Get you some lemonade. Yeah. Say hello to the 12-year-old waitress. Okay, thank you, Teeny. Letter of the day. That's all you, Paul.
This is from Poppy in Mill Creek. QVC's going under. Where will I buy the philosophy shower gel for all my friends at Christmas?
There'll be a place for you. And I'm sure you don't have that many friends if that's what kind of gifts you're giving out. All right, well, there we go. I think we need to do another hour, but make it sound exactly like some earlier hours. If we can remember verbatim what we said, it'll all work out just fine. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Bucky's Complete Auto Care has the update. We've got a mess on our trains this evening. Sound Transit's 1 and 2 lines are running up to 40 minutes behind schedule due to mechanical issues, and the one line is single tracking between UW and Capitol Hill stations. You'll need to board on the Federal Way platform here, and now the one line is returning to Stadium Station from the north end to unload Mariners fans, so there's actually room for passengers trying to get to Linwood, so it is an absolute mess. North 5, the main line, is backed up from the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. South 5 was stop and go from the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90, and in Federal Way, North 5, just before 18, a collision still blocks the HOV lane. Tacoma to Federal Way is about a 20-minute drive. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Spring is the perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. Day and night.net. This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Day and Night.net. The Jake and Spike Show.
Check it late at night when my wife's not looking.
Weekdays noon to 3.
My favorite thing on my phone, which is my weather app. First thing? Yeah, absolutely.
On KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio App.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all way day long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair. And all up to 80% off during Wayday. Shop Wayfair's Wayday from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
A legendary night for a legendary arm. The one and only Randy Johnson.
Swing and a miss. He's got number 14.
See the big unit make more Mariners history on Saturday, May 2nd, as his number 51 is retired at T-Mobile Park. The first Mariners pitcher to throw a no-hitter.
Randy looks to the skies. That is covered by the dome and bedlam.
Win the Cy Young Award.
And there's 19. That is a new American League record by a left-hander.
And be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
The trade to Seattle set my career in motion.
He was dominant. He was intimidating. He was electric. Join us in celebrating the big unit for 2 great nights presented by T-Mobile. Friday, May 1st. Score your own number 51 on Randy Johnson 80s Jersey Night. And be there Saturday, May 2nd for Randy Johnson number retirement ceremony night.
Very proud to have played there for 10 years. Thank you, Seattle.